Welcome to Kranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Kranky, and this is the Kranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Kranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Kranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Kranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Bless Up Fresh, thanks for joining. Glad you could join me today. And I just realized that my program will conflict with COPA for a number of days. So what I would probably do actually is have watch-alongs for those time slot where the games conflict. And then, as we did yesterday when we watched a U.S. game, is talk about some of the things we'd like to talk about. So we can multitask, actually. So, you can still have your comments, you can still give your perspective, and I'll respond to them. And I probably will still take phone calls, actually. Could be about the game and or any other topic that you want to discuss. But I did have a number of items here that I'd like to talk about. And this is the lineup for both teams. Those of you who are familiar with both Paraguay and Colombia. This is the only zone where a game has not been played today. So this evening we'll have 6 Eastern time, 5 Jamaica time, Paraguay playing Colombia, and Colombia hasn't lost a game, I think, since February 2022. So quite a while now. But I think they've beaten or drawn Paraguay the last 8 or so meetings they've had, 6 to 8 meetings. So they've had their way with Paraguay quite a bit. And the more known players player on Colombia is Diaz and Almiron, who plays on Newcastle. So Diaz for Liverpool and Almiron for Newcastle for Paraguay. But glad you could join us. Glad you should join me, I say, because I have no guest today. And welcome. Appreciate you being here. I appreciate you being here, actually. Few things I'd like to touch upon as we watch the game. The game is 0-0. We're in the 4th minute. Paraguay attacking Colombia. Colombia has a throw-in. Well, I should say Colombia attacking Paraguay. Colombia has a throw-in. And Colombia seems to be playing 3 at the back, actually, with 2 midfielders. So they're probably playing a 3-5-2. And Colombia has, as I mentioned before, has been playing well for quite a while now. And did really well in some of the friendlies they played before COPA commenced. So we see how they do in the tournament. Should be interesting. Hope everyone is doing well. As you come in, you know the drill. Hit the like button. People, let me tell you how much I need, actually, because I've been checking this religiously. I've been checking this religiously, which is my subscriber number. So I have to look up and see how much I need. And I want you to help me get there. By end of day today, I'm at 965. I need 35. I'm sure you guys can help me get 35 subscribers. Really good shot there by Colombia, actually robbed the Paraguayan of the ball, number 26, and took a really good shot just outside the post. I will say this. Let me reduce this for a second. I will say this. I got a lot of responses Bless up, Melshire. Thanks for joining. I got a lot of responses to my little 10-minute video on on the game against Mexico. A lot of comments, probably the most comments I've gotten since I started doing this program. Really interesting comments. Not everyone agreed with me. I think one person said to me, um, "Where have I ever coached to be making coaching suggestions?" So I didn't know there was a monopoly in providing perspective on one's view on a game, but apparently there is. Brownman Security, bless up. Thanks for joining. But I think most of the comments were in alignment with my perspective, actually, which is if one was to give any blame for losing the game, the coach shouldered a lot of the responsibility. Bless up, Jeremiah. Thanks for joining. And I assume, Jeremiah, you're a Fortis, as you wouldn't say Fortis, big up. So special big up to the Fortis man in the house. Sid Diaz doing his normal trickery, trying to get around people here. Beating two men. He's a very, very skillful player. Dismissing two men when he had no place to go. So we have 13 likes. We have 20 watching. I must be talking about this all evening, people. At least for the next 2 hours while I'm on. You got to hit the like button as you enter the stream. Bless up, Ika Reeks. Thanks for joining. And Ika Reeks, like a number of you have been consistently joining me, so I appreciate you being here. So I want to touch upon a couple of things as I watch the the Colombia-Paraguay game. The West Indies, as many of you know, lost yesterday. I thought they gave it a good go. The batting, as it normally does, failed us. We started off real poorly. Chase and Myers did a really good job of getting us back in the game. And then we collapsed like we normally do. And the worst thing about it was we were about 113 or somewhere around there for 6 or 7. Russell hit 2 sixes and then got run out. Because I actually believe if Russell wasn't run out, we may have had a chance to win the game. Because South Africa is a very up and down team. They've won all their games, but they haven't been convincing. And Russell being run out there when he looked like he was in dangerous form was a big deal. And even then, we came back and lost the game on the Duckworth-Lewitt method because it rained a ton. The game didn't finish till about 1 o'clock or something after 12. So disappointing, but I thought they gave a good account of themselves. And it sort of bodes well. I mean, look, I think T20 will be cricket eventually, frankly, people. 50 over doesn't really work. And playing cricket for 5 days doesn't really work either. So I think 50 over is the game. And it brings a lot of excitement, enthusiasm. You don't have to spend your whole day watching the game. So I think it's a biannual tournament, but I actually believe that it's the future, frankly, and the IPL only goes to emphasize that. But what we also, as we're here talking about sports, watching Colombia versus Paraguay, game is at 0-0. And these South Americans love to jump into tackles, don't they? They love to leave their feet when they tackle, and that's dangerous in today's football. You can get a yellow card or a red card, even if you get the ball. So I'm not sure why they're still doing those type of tackles in today's games. Come people, 18 likes, 26. The likes should be more than those who are watching. So if you said, Kranky, this is getting nauseous, you always saying that, then because you have some of your people in the chat haven't hit the like button, please do so. And then yesterday, there were a couple of games yesterday. You saw the Bolivia versus U.S. game. And Bolivia is ranked about, in mid-80s? And they played like it, frankly. They were poor. And U.S. had a bunch of chances. Pulisic, Mr. America scored. Balogun finally scored. Bless up Vinny Congo. Balogun finally scored for the U.S. He has been scoring a lot for them since they brought him over. And then you saw Panama play Uruguay. And Uruguay is playing that what do you call it kind of football? It's Bielsa's football, but it's just constant attacking with 10 people, basically. Leave yourself vulnerable, both defensively and offensively, but there are a lot of people forward against Panama, and Panama wasn't in the game. They scored late, Panama, but Uruguay dominated and could have scored more goals. Their first goal was a beauty, and even Nunes scorer, who always hit the bar, the upright, or the bar activity plays. But it was two decent games, but I don't think the oppositions were played as well as they'd like. The only CONCACAF team that's won so far, obviously, is at least against South American team, has been the U.S. Mexico did beat us yesterday. And I'm sure we touch upon some of that actually. So while you're watching the game, you can turn your volume down, listen to me, and then we'll do some other stuff actually. I have a interview with Shamar I also want to play. Actually, he was interviewed subsequent to the game. And I actually didn't, and I was also talk about his record, but it's part of the discussion, so I'll do that now actually. So I'll transition from the COPA games because we're watching COPA now, and from World Cup, and I'll touch upon Euro, but I want to play the Shamar Nicholson first. We'll go back and forth with Jamaica because that's always the theme of the program. But we'll also talk about Euro. I think the Euros have been very, very interesting, and Italy's 1-1 draw with Croatia just tell you that football is cruel. But here's the interview. And let me know if you can hear me with Nicholson. That was just held today.
We have with us Reggae Boys attacker Shamar Nicholson, the first reggae boy to play for Jamaica, born in the year 1997. Firstly, Shamar, how are things in camp so far in the COPA America?
Well, vibe is right, Everyone is positive, despite the loss, we all have a positive mindset,
Very nice. And as you know, on Saturday, you made your 50th appearance for Jamaica. How did you feel in that moment?
Yeah, it's a special moment. It's a pity that we didn't get the win to make it more special, but yeah, it's a proud moment also for me and my family, my friends, loved one, coaching staff, everyone, who support me during bad time and good time. Yeah, so it's really a proud moment.
It's amazing how time flies, Shamar, because you made a debut for Jamaica 2017, so that's 7 years now. You scored 19 goals for Jamaica. Which one of them stands out to you the most?
Well, I would say the goal against US in DC. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, any reason why that one in particular?
Yeah, because it's the first one, and the first one is always special.
All right, cool. And as you know, the next game is coming up on Wednesday. How much are you looking forward to that next game?
Yeah, it's just to take things step by step. We prepare in training, so it's just to go there and believe. But yeah, I think we're ready for that game, each and every one.
All right. And finally, Shamar, you spent a season on loan in Liga in France. What was that experience like for you? Did it remind you of Belgium a little bit?
Yes, I will say culture-wise, but I think it was also a good experience, because the level is high, really physical, and also mentally, So I think it was a good experience. I learned a lot.
So that was Simon's interview. Said I cough up abruptly. Those interviews are normally about just over 2 minutes. With Shamar, I actually didn't realize that Shamar scored 19 in 50. Not a bad return. It's about 2.6 something. So one goal almost every 2.5, just over 2.5 games. Not a bad return for a striker. 1 in 3 and below. So 1 in 3, 1 in 2, 1 in 1 is good ratio. So not bad for Shamar at all. You hear me say yesterday that I thought I think I mistakenly. If you were just calling me, please call back. I mistakenly pressed the wrong button. Actually, you hear me say yesterday that I thought Shamar and Antonio cannot play together. Let me try to call this person back. I was trying to call. Cannot play together, or should not play together. But I shouldn't say cannot, but they should not play together. I don't think that works actually. I think we need more mobility up front than those two, and I hope the coach that I hinted, or not even hinted, he sort of indicate it's going to be more offensive. So let's see what offensive means. Bless up, John Powell, Brian. Thanks for joining. He's going to be more offensive. We'll see what offensive means for this coach, actually. Is the offensive means you're going to put less defenders on the field, or are you going to be trying to keep the ball more and more aggressive in your play? Actually, I did hear Rudolph being interviewed in another program today, Rudolph Speed, and he said, obviously, we have improved our ball possession against the Mexico of the world, so we're making improvements, and that's relatively true. Actually, we did keep the ball more than we normally do against Mexico. I think against Mexico, we normally are in the very low 30s. I think we were about 38% in that game, and maybe less in the first half and more in the second half in terms of ball possession. But I found it interesting that Rudolph would say that. So Rudolph, I'm calling you up because, we're not Rudolph and I wouldn't say argue when we talk about this. He seemed to focus on the concept of, playing to our strengths. And yet he's pleased that we had more possession, which frankly, if one was thinking about it, means that, possession is important in football, even though I think he plays it down sometimes. So most teams nowadays trying to play possession football because it's very important. I heard someone said yesterday that we look tired as a team. Well, if you give the opponents 62% possession, that's a really good shot by Paraguay, hit the post. That was close. And that was, what's his name from Brighton? His name eludes me. A really good player, by the way. And he's very young. I almost caught the goalkeeper out, actually. If you don't play possession football, you're going to be chasing the ball for quite a while. Quite a while, actually. So it is important to keep the ball, because those of you who have played football or even watched football realize that, when you have the ball, you really feel tired, You don't feel tired when you have the ball. When you don't have the ball, you feel tired. And if you're playing defense, you have to be chasing, like really chasing. And in this game, here's what's interesting about this game, people, that we're watching between Colombia and Paraguay. Paraguay is pressing sometimes, like aggressive press. And Colombia has to boot it up the field, right? Because nobody likes to be really pressed aggressively, but you have to have the stamina to do so. Now, I think we struggle as a team. You see me just going to Jamaica football. I was talking about sports in general, and here's where I end up, but we're going to stay there for a little while. As a team, we never seem like we look like the fittest team, actually. The other teams are running our game, and we always seem to be challenged when it comes to that. So I'm not sure if, and someone was saying the other day, well, it's a long season. Most of the players may be tired. Look like Diaz may be in on goal, but he got dispossessed. But that should go for all the teams then, because everybody's been playing football all year. This is one of those years in which you play almost 12 months, right? You literally play 12 months. The EPL, think about it, starts in August, and we're going to be playing up ball to July. So you may get a couple of weeks off, but you're playing football almost 12 months. So it goes for everybody. So everybody should be tired if we're tired. Everybody should be tired. So not sure I buy that logic, actually. If you just join us, we're doing a combination of a watch along of the Colombia-Paraguay game, at the same time talking about other sporting things that are occurring. Just discuss West Indies cricket. I'll talk about the Euros as we go through the program. But as usual, we divert back to Jamaica. If someone just called me, and I can't recall who did, if you just called, please call again. I somehow mistakenly pressed the button and disconnected you, actually. Now I'm trying to find your number and I'm struggling. I'm seeing another number here and it's not the person just called me. So, but yeah, there, as I said before, I had a lot of comments on my 10-minute, I'm not sure what I would call it, a little bit of a rant as it comes to my views on why we lost the game. And I don't think I've had that many comments in any, and it was only 10 minutes, and yet the comments kept flowing all day, actually. I wouldn't say it's a consensus, because it wasn't that people agreed with me, but most people did. I think everyone is trying to figure out why to make the change. I think someone else is coming. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. How you doing, Krank?
I'm doing well. Who am I speaking to?
Who you expect? Vibes, man.
Vibes, man. How are you doing, Vibes, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. A little bit disappointed, but I'm doing good.
You mean nothing? You talking about the football?
Yes, man. I was there. I was in the stadium.
Or you went to the game?
Yeah, man, I just came back this afternoon.
So how was the vibes in the stadium?
That's what I called to talk about because I'm not gonna talk about the match because all of you know the match, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with the Mexican people. I've never been in a situation where people is so welcoming because where I sat, I was the only Jamaican, and about in a couple rows to my right, you had about four more Jamaican.
Right.
And let me tell you, I never feel out of place. But this is what I want all the fans to know who don't go and watch a match is the appreciation that the other teams show for Jamaica. Let me tell you, Crank. You see, after the game, are we coming out 35, 40,000 people walking down the ramps to come out the stadium?
Right.
And they were shouting Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. That to show you how much respect they give us, for a one love victory, And they didn't stop chant until they get in the parking lot. And I'm saying, look at how far Jamaica came. Look how
Right.
far we come since '98 when we used to get 6, 5, and 4 from Mexico. And if we only start putting out the effort to go and support the boys, Cranky, the win is right around the corner, Cranky. Believe me, because I sat there and I didn't see Mexico outgun us in no way. It looked that way because they're passing, but they wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
They did not outgun us, And I tell you, they was just as nervous as we were inside there, Cranky.
Okay. So here's the question for you. How did people view the change that was made? And what did you think the change led to the goal being scored?
Definitely, because me and the guys was talking about it. Because fortunately, I met a Mexican. He says he worked with Red Stripe in Kingston, Jamaica. He came up with his family. What happened to us as fans, as Jamaican people? What happened to us? The guy fly from Jamaica with his family.
Right.
A Mexican, because he works at Red Stripe. And we was mad with the change. You don't do defensive change. Nothing was wrong with our defense, Cranky. We didn't need low on the field at that point. When you take off the man right, we need another striker. We need attackers. We didn't need no because you disorganize the defense and lead to the goal.
Right.
So that was we was me and the Mexican they was cursing. They was say that is a coach's error. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but what I'm telling you, man, the people they are so welcoming, and if our supporters only know how much respect the Mexican have for a Jamaican team, we would stop bashing our team and come out and start supporting them.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
Look, I think you make a good
and
point. We don't do that enough, actually.
no, I'm telling you, Cranky, just imagine 35, 40,000 people, and let me tell you, I becomes an instant rock star with the New Jersey.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to take picture with me, Cranky. I
Yeah.
must be have about 50 that I asked them to take. But everybody, the kids, I was lifting up Mexican kids. They was shouting Mexico, Mexico, and I was laughing. So they say, okay, he's a friendly person. They wanted to take picture with me. A lot of picture they take with me. They was welcoming. And I'm saying, what happened to our people? All we gonna do is sit and talk on YouTube? No man, we have to go out and start support the guys. And JFF have to make it possible for if it's 1,000 of us, let us try to sit in the same place.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, actually, and especially around the recognition that we get and the support that we get and our fans are. Because I went to the Guatemala friendly in New Jersey when we played,
I was there too. I was there too.
and a lot of people took pictures. One take pictures with us. We took a lot of pictures, and even when I went to, and it's not just football; it's just global. When I went to Olympics in London, it was the same way. I was a rock star, frankly. I felt like a rock
Yeah.
star. First time, I felt like a celebrity, frankly. So now I appreciate what you're saying, and it makes a lot of sense. And I think we as fans need to do more to
'Cause
try to get to the place.
outside of Jamaica, I watch Mexico and Jamaica in Jamaica, in the
Yeah.
in the campaign. But this is my first experience outside of Jamaica
Right.
in that terrain and Cranky. I was so happy. I can't tell you say I was ever sad. Even though we lose, coming out, they makes me feel so welcoming because they was happy. They was so happy, and I'm happy for them to Cranky because when you have 50,000 people come out to support your team, you deserve to win. Just
Yeah.
that alone, they deserve to win, Cranky. I can't say anything else. They deserve to win. Because if they don't win, what's going to happen to our region, Cranky? Think about it. They are the ones who holding up football in our region with crowd supporting us.
Yeah, I mean the US does a good job too.
And the US too. Yeah, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
the people getting behind the team, and all we do is talk. Right now, Cranky, I'm not gonna be disrespectful. When the people them call the program, ask them if they went go to the match. If they don't go to the match, I wouldn't even I'll have a conversation with them. I'm telling you,
Well,
that's all.
I didn't go to this match, so I can't.
Cranky, I know the reason why you didn't go, because you spoke about it before I even left. And you say you don't like flying.
Yeah. If
But
it was ground transportation, I would have gone, but I don't. I'm not in the flying thing.
when I get into the George Bush, so they call it George Bush Airport.
Yeah.
I went to get my
George
car.
W. Bush. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went to get the rental car. The lady said to me, "Soccer, eh?" She said, "You look like a soccer player." I said, "How you said? How could you say that?" She said, "The way you shape, the way you build." I said, "Okay." She said, "You know that you are the first Jamaican come here to pick up a car is only Mexican." She said the amount of Mexican. Yeah, but I met a couple of family from Larrington when I was coming back up. They went down and watched the match too. So I started to feel good about it. But we need to stop the foolishness. I saw AQ and them tenting in the parking lot, and I refused to go there.
Why?
Because remember, Cranky, I've been asking these management to link me up with these people. All they tell management, oh, they're gonna link you. So why am I going there? And I want to be a part of the fan. And it's like if they don't want to let nobody in, they don't want to let. That's how I feel.
No. Trust me.
That's how I feel. I'm telling you.
No. But here's my point actually, and maybe AQ is really really good with this actually, because when we were in Texas, I linked up with them, and they were very accommodating. I'm telling you, very accommodating. We went to their place. It was a lot of them.
Even less than a week before,
Yeah.
I called management again privately and said, "Management, what is going on with them? Nobody's calling me." Management said, "They didn't call you?" And management pinned me in the group chat. But I'm saying that is not the right way to go. You understand what I'm saying? Because had I link up with them,
Viceman, we're gonna make it happen. So don't worry about it. No, AQ is brilliant actually. Trust me.
Cranky, I had that happen. I would be on my way to Vegas, but it would be too expensive to do it on my own to leave from there and go to Vegas.
Right, because they always rent houses, right? They rent like huge houses with a number of bedrooms. It's a bunch of them. It's not one or two. So,
and I don't even want to sleep. I just want to take a shower and hang out. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what they do actually is brilliant. I mean, they all there. They cook. It's huge pot. They're cooking yard food. They have good cooks there. No, I'm telling you, you would enjoy the camaraderie and engagement.
Frankie, I tried, and I'm not trying anymore. I tried to hook up with this group.
Okay.
And I'm not trying no more because I just feel down how nobody's not getting back to me.
No. You know why? Because let me say this. Because when AQ they give me the number and I called once, the person who I called didn't really get back to me. It's like twice that happened. I didn't feel discouraged. I got in touch with AQ because I know that people are busy and they're running around and some didn't really know me. But after that, after we link up, no, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. T-Got was there. It was myself, T-Got, Minzy. We linked up with them, and there was another couple of other kids. No, it worked out. Trust me. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen, Viceman. We'll make it happen.
Missed out on that one, but I wasn't going to miss this one. I felt, I'll tell you, Cranky, we lose the match, and I don't feel like we lose. I tell you the honest truth, the guys, they tried. And with support, let me tell you, you play the game, Cranky, I play the game. Those of us who play the game know how powerful support is. When you have 50,000 Mexicans shouting for the team, that's a different adrenaline the players get,
Yeah, that's true.
Come on.
That's true.
We have to start doing these things and stop talking, stop coming on YouTube and bashing and picking team and let's go out and support because we have the ammunition now, Cranky.
Yeah.
You know where we're coming from, How to get one from Mexico, in Mexico, because down there is like you're in Mexico, right?
Yes, very much.
Down there is like Mexico.
If you're in Texas, yes, you're in Mexico.
Yeah. So it was a good effort, a very, very, very good effort.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I am just disappointed, Viceman, that we took the game to the 68th minute, and the change we made affected the game. Because here's the thing, as you said before, normally Mexico would pepper our box, in our box, just missing chance or chance. They weren't creating those chances deep in our territory. So why would we want to make any change, at least defensively? Yeah.
It wasn't necessary, but I'm not gonna knock anybody. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm gonna live with the positive. I'm just gonna live with the positive. The crowd support of the Mexican, how they was welcoming to us.
Right.
Yeah, and they was happy. Kranky, I've never seen people so happy. You know, like they was playing Brazil and they beat Brazil 1.
Right.
That is how they react when they was coming out the stadium, Kranky. And that made me feel, okay, Jamaica has finally reached. But if people on YouTube who watching it on the television they don't get to see that part of the situation, because all that is a part of the game itself, you know.
Right.
And the occasion, they don't get to see that. And no, I said, but these people really respect Jamaica team as a team. They already respect the culture, but now they finally respect us as a team. We are no joke anymore in their sight.
Yeah, no,
And then
we played them well. We
yeah.
the Antonio chance was a chance. He was offside by VAR, but I do think he could have done a better job of staying onside because he was looking across the line, and he has
Yeah.
to realize in today's football that you have to be very careful. You have to be more conservative when you do that. But it was a good goal, not a good cross by Lambekiza. It was unfortunate that the goal wasn't given.
That's what I was going to ask you, what you think about it, because I didn't see the replay, so I didn't see the
Yeah,
line.
it was offside. In fact, you know what? Even though I called goal, I did say before I called goal that it looked offside. I thought we have to wait for VAR first. You can't really celebrate. And even though I was calling the goal because they said it was goal, I still was emphasizing during the telecast that he could have been offside, and he was offside. It was close, but he was offside.
The Jamaican ladies that I was traveling back with I met on the flight coming back, they said they feel that the VAR adjust the line. I was dying with laughs.
Goal by Colombia. Sorry about that. Colombia just scored from a header. A really good cross. Unfortunate for Paraguay, who have played well. We're in the 32nd minute. Colombia is very happy.
Oh,
they're leading by 1-0.
I'm getting a delay stream because I'm at the 31st minute,
okay.
21.
So you're streaming it. I'm watching it on the TV. So
yeah, I'm streaming it. Yeah.
They just scored. Yeah, but I'm happy you went, Weisman. And I think the teams appreciate it. But you know what, Weisman? We have to do a better job of sitting in the same section, because if we're sitting in isolated places, the volume of people not being together to cheer doesn't really have the same effect.
Exactly. So we have to do a better job with if it's 400 a week, let's 400 of us sit in the same place.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys gonna organize that, Kranky, but you guys have to organize that.
All right, we have to make it happen. I agree with you.
You have to make it happen. Trust me.
Yeah, man.
They make it through, you know. If I don't know what's gonna happen if they make it through, I'm going.
Yeah. No, we have to figure something out. We can't afford to have the team playing decent football, making us feel proud that we're not going to the games to help them.
Support. It's hurtful, Kranky. I'm telling you. And you know, it's not the first time I speak about this. I always stressing about support. And we talk so much. We text so much. We type so much in comments. We fight so much. Where is the support?
Yeah.
Anyway, Kranky, I'll continue to listen.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
I'm finally open up with these people because I'm getting frustrated.
All right. No. We make it happen, Vibes. Make it happen.
All right,
cool. So that was Vibes, man. And AQ, I forgot to talk to AQ, because Vibes, man, I say, I'm try to link the posse and it now work. So AQ, we have to figure that out with AQ. All right? Not a good thing. Good evening. You're on the Kranky Show. Am I speaking to?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, man. Kaka himself, you know?
Bless up, Kaka. How you doing?
Good. I just want to make a few points on the team arrival. What I was kind of like confused about, not really confused, is it arrangement ideas that we're reaching Vegas today, or not yesterday evening, so we could prepare.
No, they
Monday morning.
They went to Vegas when they got there yesterday. I think it was. They got there yesterday.
It was not. I thought it was today because I saw the post was today. It was today. On the JFF, that was today that they arrived in today.
No. They got there yesterday.
Interesting, because I saw the post today that the boys are in Vegas.
Yeah, well, they may say they're in Vegas, but they got there yesterday. Trust me.
Okay.
They got there yesterday.
So they had a training session this morning, or
I haven't
tonight,
heard. I haven't heard, but I know they got there yesterday because I was communicating with someone, so I know they got there yesterday. I was supposed to have someone in my program. It didn't materialize, but they got there yesterday.
Okay, because I was a little bit, intrigued why they got there today and the game was played on Saturday night. Normally, when a team play a game away, they normally leave the next day. They normally don't stay the overnight
Right.
till the next day and travel in the morning. But 2 points I want to make but good and bad, pros and cons I want to take out in the game. The midfield were compartmentalized, wasn't cohesive. They wasn't together. There wasn't a joint. Bobby and Casey. Casey need to be fit enough. The man belly look big. Let me see man. I say, yo, look at the man belly. And then man I midfield.
You think
But
Casey belly?
yeah,
Back up, Carl. You think Casey belly big? Me, I've met Casey.
no, the man.
In belly not big man. Trust me. I've met him.
No, I saw him. I saw him in the training warm up. He the man have a like, he don't look big,
So
but like
you went to the game.
you know,
You went to the game.
he didn't have an athletic body, huh?
No, you went to the game,
No, I didn't went to the game.
but you're watching him on TV.
Yes, I said I saw
Yeah,
him. I saw him in the training
Something wrong with your screen. I've met Casey. I met Casey in March.
recently.
Yeah,
in
met him
March.
in March in Bella Big. Trust me.
But March from June is as well.
No, him still a play
3
ball.
months.
So you can't say him still a play ball. You can't say him belly big. He Bella Big man.
Well, him don't look athletic. I would say.
You sure you not mix up Casey? You sure you not mix up Casey with somebody else?
I saw Casey. Yeah, I saw him on the screen. I'm like, whoa, this man, kind of look overweight. But anyways,
No.
Well,
Carla,
anyways.
yeah, mix him up, man. I tell you, Carla, yeah, mix him up.
Okay. Anyways, he look very unfit. Let's just say he
Wait.
look
So
very
when you say
unfit.
unfit, you mean how he played unfit or he looks unfit? Which one?
Both, because as a midfielder, you have to do a lot of running,
Right.
and Casey wasn't that, furious in the midfield. I could count out how many tackles he made if he had made any. So that's one thing that the group need to work on, the fitness. And I think if I was a coach, I would implant a fitness day for just one day of lone fitness for the team and prepare tactically tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and the game is Wednesday. So I've had one day that I just lone fitness we had to deal with, because if you watch the game, the first 10 to 15 minutes will look very good, pressing them, and once we backed off, here comes the Mexican, coming at us that we once we were pressing, and now we're gonna have to back off and start defending. That take a lot out of us. So I feel like if we can get that fitness level up coming into the next game, I feel like we'll have a strong possibility of achieving something great in the next game. But also, in the second half, we come out very pressing. When we press, the Mexican turn over the ball into our half, and then we start playing with more confidence. As you can see, we scored that goal. But if we're not fit, we're just going to be chasing the ball. And eventually, and this has happened severally, moments when we concede goals. We always concede goal late in second half. So that's showing you the coach need to learn how to retain ball position in the training sessions. Because if he's doing that, we wouldn't have conceded, so much late goals against the United States. You can see we look battered, against the United States because we're tired. We make mistakes. We make huge mistake decision. That Corey Burke, mistakenly, the ball chip off my head. But, that's showing you that if we are working on our fitness and if we are working how to retain the ball much more longer, which we kind of did, sort of slightly in the game versus Mexico. But I want to see the boys work how to, if we can work on that, Kranky, trust me, we will have a much more better chance than these teams will go up against them. Because, come on, why are we going to respect a team that don't per se don't have them? Because we're a very talented squad, and this is not our best squad, but we still have a talented squad. You look on the attacking forward line, we have the fastest players. Understand? So I feel like the team must be more courageous going into the match, be more brave. Don't show the opponent so much respect, and that's what I feel like Jamaica have. Slip themselves up because they must say, "Oh man, we played so good against Mexico," and they can't believe, because I heard the coach in his press conference that he don't know why the boys don't take much more courage on the ball like how Mexican did, because Mexican has a playing style of plan. We don't. So when we're playing this type of football, long ball, long ball, long ball, and when we get the ball, we don't know what to do, Cranky, because all we know is long ball. But I see some good um switching, ball switching from flanks to flanks. I see that. I see Bobby, trying to do it. And he 7 out of 10 times it works, but he need giving away the ball too much time. But it's a work in progress. He's not a midfield player, so he don't really play in the midfield. But if he can learn how to, the coach, I just want the coach now to, just to get that down pack in the training session. Have the ball, guys, not the ball. Have a triangle side. Have a triangle style of playing. That okay, two ballers, one up top. Okay, I'm knocking to you. I'm moving to this space. Play triangle football. It's simple. It's not hard. But I feel like the coach don't have that type of technical style of playing, so I can't really blame him because I've seen it.
One second. Colombia just scored another header, so that's 2 headers. I think that was Lerner that scored, so it's 2-0 Colombia. Keep going.
Yes, so I'm just saying we all know that the coach is not this, tiki-taka coach that know how to implement this style of playing. We all know that. He used Iceland, long balls, counter press. That we all know it's not that. So, but we all can learn. I feel like Paula would be a good fit to this team right now because we see the playing of style that Paul Hall come into the squad and shows that okay, we can play this way. And I like how Paul Hall did. As you can see, previous game that he had in the World Cup qualifiers, that's the type of game they want to play because when you look on the years that Ferguson was playing, we played 1-2-3 football and going forward, and that's how we can get that playing style. We're not gonna say that it's too late. No, nothing is too late. If we can go out there, play the ball game, play to these team standards, because I saw Panama last night. Even though they, Uruguay was a bit a team, but Panama kept the ball. Panama wasn't afraid to go at them with the ball. Panama wasn't afraid to hold up the ball and look for passes. Panama was moving into spaces, and we don't see that with the regular boys. If the regular boys can just look on these previous games and see that okay, we're lacking in fitness, we need to be fit, and we need to retain the ball. If we can do those two things in these 2 games that we have, we should have a good chance of achieving something. We might not go through because if we're gonna say we're gonna go through, we need 6 points. And right now we're in a tough position right now because Mexico and Venezuela is playing, and it's not like say Ecuador and Mexico play. So there's 2 sides. We can look for Lucy say Ecuador gonna beat Mexico and go on 3 points with Mexico, and we're gonna play Venezuela. So the tie is not in our hand right now. The tie is in there and to mess up. Okay. So we need to get 6 points to, move forward, and the coach needs to learn how to retain the ball. We don't have to play a ball game for you. All right, have a good one.
All right, bless up. Thanks for the call.
All right, yeah.
All right, everyone, the number is on the screen. It's 347-728-8625. While we're having all this discussion, we're also watching the Panama-Paraguay game. A decent game. Both sides look really, really good. Paraguay has some good young players, and they're giving Colombia a good game, but Colombia's up too. And as I mentioned before, Colombia hasn't lost a game since February 2022. So it's been over 2 years they've lost a game, and they're playing well, actually. So it's a decent game, but you can call in, we can have the dialogue. And people hit the like button. It's 54-72. Please hit the like button. So the caller mentioned a couple of things. One is I say it's about fitness. If you're not fit now, you're not fit before the tournament. Like fitness just happened overnight. Secondly, it's been a long season, people. And if you listen to England, how people are talking, they say the same thing with the English team, which is they look tired. They should be tired. They've been playing ball for 11 months. You should be tired if you're playing ball for 11 months, don't you think? You're playing ball for 11 months, you got to be tired. They will not be getting no fit. And the coach can't make them keep possession ball in 2 days and 3 days. That's not happening. So the fitness and possession ball, which are 2 things are important, they're not happening before this tournament is over or during this tournament. And that's not how football works, right? Secondly, I do think from a team standpoint, I thought the team, 38% possession against Mexico. I don't think we're going to have more than that, right? Given how we play. That's not going to happen. But I do think we give ourselves less chance to have more possession by playing two up front. That two up front, that strategy doesn't help you if you want to possess the ball. You have two big Titanics who both need the same kind of service, I should say. That doesn't work. So the coach says it's going to be more offensive. I don't know. Two forwards up front is offensive, people. I mean, five at the back is not offensive, but two forwards is pretty offensive. So I don't know what that means. If we change formation, are we going to play 4-3-3? What are we going to play? I have no idea. So I'll be curious to see what that entails. And also, people talk about pressing. I just mentioned this previously. Pressing is hard work, people. People don't play football and you try to press. The man play the ball around you because some teams can do that. And you turn us to the ball going behind you and they running with the ball. It's tough. Not because we see Man City and Liverpool press so hardly, and sometimes Arsenal, they press, even though Arsenal cut that down after this first year, or second year, I should say. Pressing is hard work. If you're going to press really hard, then you better make sure you win the ball because it'll be a long afternoon. And also, what pressing does, pressing makes you also more vulnerable because you have to shorten the field and the ball can be played behind you. That makes it even tougher. So I would say I don't see Jamaica pressing. We have never been in that kind of shape to press, frankly, no matter where the players are sourced from. It's difficult to do that. I don't see that happening. So TikTok, is that for me, TikTok? I do plan to get some kind of software actually to do some strategy sessions at some point. So it'd be interesting to see if I can get to do some of those things. But yeah, you can, when you see, look, even when you're watching the game TikTok and you view the game from high up, you can see how things are outlined on the field, where players are, what the strategies entail. It's not that difficult like this to actually see it. But obviously the game is moving, so it makes it a bit harder. Yeah, that's right. But retaining the ball is not retaining the ball, technical skill. As I've been saying more recently, Jamaica doesn't produce midfielders. And even England, where we source a number of our players from, they don't necessarily produce the best midfielders. They produce a lot of good wingers. Even look at the English national team. Which midfielder do we know of Jamaican heritage that play in the middle, apart from maybe Calvin Phillips? And most of the players in the middle, Gallagher is not. Gallagher, Rice, Foden. You just think about the midfielders. Eze is, but Eze is African. Billingham is. I'm not sure what Billingham's heritage is, but we don't produce a ton of those. But if you want to play wing back and play forward like the Walkers of the world and others, you have more of that. We may have been West Indian heritage. So it's not like we're producing a ton of midfielders in Jamaica or otherwise parts of the world that we can leverage to help us, actually. We had Ravel, but we know the Ravel story, so can't keep repeating it. Richard Stewart is saying, Kranky have a problem with Grimm. He just needs a proper midfield. Too good box to box. Yeah, Richard, but we don't know if we can buy them, Richard. Richard, here, think about this, Richard. And everyone, people think about this. Is the other players we're talking about that we want to bring in, apart from maybe a Lewis Baker? Most of them are wingers or center forwards. Whether it's Sims or whether it's Greenwood or whether it's Nelson. Now, we did talk about Ramsey quite a bit and Gibbs White, who are midfielders, mainly attacking midfielders, not CDMs. I don't hear us thinking about any CDM that's of any quality apart from Lewis Baker. But most of the players are mainly offensive players. Even Gibbs White is a very offensive player. I think Gibbs White would be brilliant, by the way. I think Ramsey would be brilliant. If we can nick one of those players to come into the team to play midfield, we can go back to 4-3-3 and stop playing, 3-5-2. Those two even people, I've been saying this, even Kyle Walker Peters, I think, could transition from right back to play midfield. I think he has that ability. Well, that's right. That may be true, actually, because they're in Las Vegas. I feel for them. The game is 3:00 Las Vegas time, people. I don't know if they have a roof on, but if they do, they need to put the roof over because that's brutal in Las Vegas. In fact, this is inhumane to play in Las Vegas at 3 o'clock. Whoever thought about that have no sense. Because I think the game is like 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 5 Jamaica time on Wednesday. If you're playing football in that weather, you have no sense. Bless up GMG. That doesn't make any sense to me. So what the organizers are, it wasn't the best decision to play the game that time in Vegas, unless they're playing under a closed roof, which I'm not sure they are, but maybe they are actually because it's inhumane weather. The weather out west has been brutal. Yeah, no, the midfielders, they're not around actually. You can't find them. We need to make them. That's the thing. Because even the players we have in the JPL, think about it. Nicholson, Cephas, Dixon, you can't name all of them. How much of a midfielder? Apart from the speedy of the world and Lambert, and those players are not at the level that we're talking about. You know, we produce them good forward. Nicholson's a decent forward. Dixon have potential. Cephas, they're the ones playing at a higher level. We don't have any midfielder playing at a very high level. People keep going back to McGee. McGee's not playing at a high level. So it's tough. You got to make midfielders are a cerebral position actually to play along with other attributes. And technical and cerebral to me is midfield. And we spend more time focused on people with speed. We just throw them up front versus teaching them to play midfield. And that's why we have some of the challenges that we face with. And it's not going to get any better because, you know, in the old days, we probably had and we all go back to 98. That's what we always revert back to, but a Simpson, a Whitmore, a Cargill, a decent midfield. I wouldn't say it's exceptional, but it's a decent midfield. One's a dribbler playing the 8. One is, obviously Simpson played the 8. They didn't really have a 10. Whitmore was the one with a flair, and then Cargill just kept the ball ticking over and protecting the back 4. We've been struggling for years to find someone to replace, say, a Rudolph Austin, for example, who may have been one of the better ones we have in there. That's been tough to find a good 6 and a good 8 and even a 10. So if you just join us, we're doing but a watch along and also having conversation about sports in general, but mainly about football. Colombia eating Paraguay by 2-0. I think that's hard on Paraguay. I thought they played well. 2 headers, actually. So, you know, heading is a key part of the game. Either set piece or crossing the ball. And I'm not sure as West Indians we do that enough. Not just Jamaicans, West Indians. We thinking about using our feet versus our head, but the head is a key part of scoring goals also. They said, what happened to Brandon cover? No, people have been calling for cover and splat, you know. People have been calling for splat and cover, but I don't know. It hasn't worked out well. They couldn't get in the under 20, much less. I think cover did, splat didn't. And here's another thing, people. I haven't talked under 20 because I'm boycotting Jamaica junior football until we get rid of this nonsense system that we have, where we allocate certain places for locally born players. I'm not talking local. I'm not talking junior football actually. Not talking only senior football. I'm talking not talking junior football, and that has to change. And it has to change. I'm gonna figure out a way to do something, whatever that is. I'm gonna be doing, but having quotas for a team in Jamaica is ludicrous. Trust me, ludicrous. Having quotas where your citizens are restricted from participating because you think you're trying to satisfy some other agenda, ludicrous. Can't convince me otherwise. What you need to do is get better and stop having quotas. So, yeah, but I'm not talking about the junior team until I have a chance to do something. And if I do it, if it doesn't work, then we'll see what happens. So we have John Russell, Anderson, Daniel Johnson. Yeah, but Dre, DJ. I might see him DJ. They might see him. John Russell, Anderson, Daniel. Look, K-Roy is young, right? So we got to give him time to grow and develop. But we've tried DJ a long time. Palmer had his best game for Jamaica. And even then, some people are not convinced. I don't know about Cover. I haven't seen enough of him. Saw a little bit of him. But he's still young. So the coach has to, you know what? Since the coach is giving opportunities to young forwards like Whisper and Dixon, why isn't he bringing in a Splat or a Cover to be in the team also? I know he has K-Roy, but K-Roy came in a little while, over a year now. Why is he doing more of that actually? So if you're a boss of youth, then you shouldn't care where the youth come from. We are boss. right? So yeah, Chelsea. If we're not giving K-Rod a game, if we're not giving K-Rod a game, we're not gonna give Covenant a game. Unless the person come in and just dominate. And that's hard to do in training when the training sessions are not like a month long. They're small windows. You have time. Give them FIFA windows. Come people, 85 watching, 69 likes. That cannot be good. We can do better, people. We can do better. We can do much, much better. So let me know what you want to talk about. The number is on the screen. You can call in. You can talk about any subject you want to talk about. I did a brief cricket. I haven't talked about Euros. So I've been watching quite a bit of the Euros, even though it conflicts with me trying to sometimes prepare for these programs. And I thought Italy must be the luckiest team ever in football. Like across the board, from 80s, 90s, whatever. They win stuff they're not supposed to win. When they beat Brazil in the 80s with Zico and Socrates, that was like criminal. They just seem to figure out a way to win. Maybe it's a mindset actually, but it's amazing that they beat Croatia today when the game was basically over. And I think the foul the referee called on that ball that was kicked up the field wasn't a foul. And if that foul wasn't called, I don't think they would have won the game because they wouldn't have had the ball. But that's another story. It wasn't Croatia's day. It wasn't their time. And the bad thing for them is that maybe the last tournament for that team because they've gotten old, very old. And people sometimes get upset when we talk about the Jamaica football team and the fact that, they may be winning, but they're not winning well. I want to go listen to England, go listen to Talk Sport, go listen to the English press. They have 4 points. They're co-leading their zone, and they're getting slaughtered. Because you know why? People are projecting. Okay, based on how you're seeing you playing now, where do I see you going? And they're saying, I don't see this team win the Euro, even though they have 4 points. They haven't been convincing. And so people are losing their mind in England about they thought they had the next generation, because always the great generation or the next generation or the whatever generation they want to call it. They have a bunch of players, the supposedly Foden, the best player in the EPL, even though not sure he is. He got the award. Bellingham, best player in La Liga, deserved the award. Kane, one of the best in Bundesliga, top scorer. So they're thinking we have all these great talent, even though the defense may be a little bit suspect, but defense has played well. We should be dominating, and that has not happened because the coach is struggling to pick the best team. And they're getting beaten in the press, beaten by fans. And then we complain because we say, we can't be beaten up Dominica by 3-2. That's not good. And some people are saying, well, you've won the game. What do you guys want? The man's winning. Sometimes it's not if you win, it's how you win. Because we're projecting out to other World Cup qualifiers when it's going to be much more difficult. And we're saying, even though sometimes we play to the level of our opponent, this is not enough. Not good enough. Yeah, but people say that about Jamaica team too. That we have 11 individuals, but not a true team. But how you win is important because it can show someone that, you know what? Even if you lose sometimes, how you win is important. Because you may be losing on a fluke, but you can see how you're playing, how well you're playing. And we go back to keeping the ball. Ball possession is a key part of people viewing how you're playing, especially if you're moving the ball up the field and not just playing in the back line with it. So, Dre DJ saying Chelsea has to get a good game. The coach rather slow, so you're saying that you figure out Russell is a midfielder and Lowe is not. So why isn't he calling Russell more? I think the book is closed on Russell. That's my view. Look, if a coach sees you in training, sees you in games, even though the fans may think you're doing okay, he may say, given all my options, you don't fit what I'm trying to do. And I don't know these things in detail because I haven't spoken to the coach or anyone about this in detail enough. But I get the sense that they have moved on from Russell. Now, if you're Russell, you're saying, what did I do wrong? I scored in the Gold Cup. I think I played okay when I was on the field. But sometimes the coach doesn't rate you. It happens. Sometimes the coach just don't rate you. So I see I got a text here so I like to read these comments I have from people, from fans with different view. Some of the person said, I'm going to read it. It's from David Marshall. Too much armchair coaches. It's one of the diseases of Jamaica football. We find fault with every coach who has coached the national team. And they think the coach is not doing what we think is right, we're ready to call for their heads. This has been going on from the 60s when Penna came to Jamaica, and no matter what they get, no matter who we get for coach side, the outcome will be the same. So David Marshall, I say this. Obviously, you only watch football in Jamaica because every country, and I'm not going to disqualify none, this is what this get discussed. Even Deschamps, who has won the World Cup for France, get criticized. So I don't know what I talk about. Southgate has gone to a semi-final and a final, and he gets slaughtered, and people want him fired. This ain't unique to Jamaica. We ain't go to no semi-final and final in a no. Well, we've gone to semi-final in Gold Cup, and that was Tapa, and he got fired. But this coach ain't take us to no semi-final and final except for the Nations League. And if he's not playing well, or we're not playing well, we're just barely making it, and just playing defense, people gonna come criticize him. So this view that you can criticize the coach and we too hard on coaches, I don't know which country you watch football in, but you talk about Mexico, learn to speak Spanish, you're going to hear the Mexican them. Listen to the English. Listen to the French. Listen to the whatever country you want to listen to, David Marshall, because you put your tweet in public, so they can call you out. People get criticized all the time. This is not unique to Jamaica. Jamaica is not unique in calling out coaches and saying they should be fired because you lose the game. That's normal. Southgate has won two. We just talked about this. He's 1-1 draw when he's leading his own, and he's getting crucified. People want him fired. I heard someone, Robbie from AFTV said what they should do is fire him and bring in Klopp for the rest of the tournament. Like, people are not encouraged by the performances. And we beat Dominica 3-2. I think Dominica play no sport. Which sport Dominica play? We're not a cricket nation, they don't have cricket pitch. They're not a football nation, so why not talk about? People want performances. They don't just want to just win. They want performances, and we're not giving them that. So, Marshall, I can't agree with you. Your perspective, value it, but we agree to disagree. TikTok said the door isn't closed on Russell. He's 22 years old and doesn't look the part right now. He's in the pool. I have to tell you this, TikTok. Now look the part right now as a midfielder. He now look the part. I know some players blossom late, like Tony or a Vardy's of the world. I think it's probably more of them not being discovered earlier in Bardi case, or a Pinnock case who came from non-league, but I don't know about that. I think athleticism is also part of it. So Dre the DJ saying, hey, I'm sorry, Kranky, put the best players on the field. We play better. Some of these players we have a high regard, not good. Yeah, look, I think the players we have now is a decent team, good players. I think the expectation in CONCACAF, I think CONCACAF expected to do better given how many Premier League players we have in the team. I got that sense. I think someone was saying in the Mexican press that they basically says even all the EPL players were limited. And they will say that because if you have a lot of EPL players, you have 30% possession, you're losing games to the better teams. It does say that. People expect when we brought in the EPL players would be equivalent to the top teams in CONCACAF, and we'd be dominating possession and not, acquiescing when we get on the field. And that has not materialized. So people, hit the like button. As you come in the chat, please hit the like button. Before you leave, if you haven't hit it when you came in, hit the like button. Well, Ernest, Damon Lowe is not a midfielder, so I can't even do a comparison. He's not a midfielder. He played one brilliant game in midfield. He was okay against Serbia when we went overseas in the Middle East to play. He was brilliant against Canada for one half. But he was brilliant defensively, not offensively. And there's a big difference. My midfielder has to play both ways. All my midfielders. My CDM need to progress the ball when they win the balls, take it off their defense. And my 8 and my 10 need to have offensive capabilities. He's not a midfielder. He's a very good defender. He's not a midfielder. Very aggressive defender, good defender, but he's not a midfielder. So there's not a fair comparison with Russ because I don't view Damien as a midfielder. But I also think Russ doesn't get around the pitch as quick as Damien does. And the coach looking like he wants, the coach is a defensive coach, right? And we have those in sports. It's a defensive coach. There's no doubt about that. And that's what he does. So as a defensive coach, that's what he thinks first. And he wants Damien to be in the middle creating havoc, which he does at times. No, I know he said that. He said Low. I mentioned that yesterday. He saw that. By the way, if you're watching the the Colombia-Paraguay game is Colin be leading by 2-0. We're in the 46th minute. No, he seemed to indicate that Lowe had a family emergency. That's why he didn't start. And he probably sort of indicated he brought him in because he would have played him, which the coach shouldn't have said that. If he was asked why Lowe didn't start, he could have said that. But the way he put it is that I have to put him in the game because he would have started. It's just not smart thing for a coach to say. So TikTok saying Lowe played all right yesterday. People don't value when you pressure the ball into turnover. Lowe doesn't that very well. TikTok. Here's a question for you, TikTok, because you like to be a contrarian. Tell me how much offensive ability Lowe has. And TikTok, by the way, TikTok, let's hear your view. Should the changes have been made yesterday in the game against Mexico? Should we have made those changes on Saturday? You tell me, TikTok. I'm sure as a contrarian, you'll have your perspective, and I value each person's perspective. Should Hector and Lowe have come into that game? And did Lowe help the midfield offensively or just defensively? Because people, we have to understand this, football play 2 years. Are we focused on the defense now? We are stop goal. We're not focused on the offense. Never yet in football in my life. That's why everybody will try to buy center forward because they want to focus on offense. They want to score goals. Dre DJ saying Casey Palmer play with Lowe. You expect him to play good. Get the best game the other night because you have Bobby player Anderson with Palmer. I think it's even better. I don't disagree with. I mean, they did play together. Didn't they play together against Dominica? Or was Palmer suspended? Can't remember. But no, I thought Bobby Reed and Palmer played well. Because he's only 2 in the middle, even though we seem to have 4 across. There's only 2 in the middle. Because Dexter and Gregory are playing real wide, so I wouldn't consider them part of the midfield. I thought Palmer and Bobby Reed get a good account of themselves. And I'm saying, I agree, but we do want a player to be fast and wild or slow and accurate with the passes. Well, I'm not sure anybody's wild, but here's the problem we have. Look, Russell is tall, cumbersome, not the most mobile, not the most athletic. And I think that's my view anyway as to why he may not be called back. And I'm not sure he's exceptional in terms of technical ability. And you're looking for that people have some differentiating qualities. That's just my view. I don't know all the details as to why, but that's what I've seen. He did score in the Gold Cup. He played okay. He didn't play against a better competition in the Gold Cup, actually. I forgot who he played against, but he wasn't against the U.S., for example. So, yeah. Yeah, Drew Ross, but you have to understand that when you look, people, someone will play football. When you get enough pressure, and you can't see a pass, and of course you lose the ball. Right? I think we act as if, you know what? If we watch TV with EPA players that keep the ball all the time, they have equivalent talent around them. And they can, and when Man City press and when Liverpool press, even the best players in the world turn the ball over. You look at Real Madrid against Man City and really touch the ball. They play counter-attacking football because they had no choice but to do so. Because they couldn't hold the ball, nor could they withstand the press. Yeah, look, Chris, I mean, I think I've seen a lot of support for Russell, but I think people are very, very good when they're not around. Actually, we are better than we really are when we're not around. Trust me. Not saying he's a bad player, but I'm not sure he's what we need. We need. I'm not sure we have any midfielder that we can say, look, apart from Gibbs White and maybe Ramsey, who's from Aston Villa, I don't see anybody else out there, I get excited about. No, Drew Ross, I've said this. Lowe is not a midfielder. How more plain can I say it? He's not a midfielder. So I can't talk about him in the midfield because he's not a midfielder. He's a good football player. He's not a midfielder. So I don't want to do comparison with a person when I said, like you asked me to have, for example, say, oh, this forward compared to this midfielder. No, if you're not a midfielder, I compare midfielders and midfielders and forwards and forwards. He's not a midfielder, so comparison doesn't really matter. Because there's nothing to compare. You're not a midfielder, I can't compare you. I compare people in positions that they play on the field, which is forwards and forwards. And sometimes I don't compare center forwards with wingers. I compare wingers with wingers, forward with forward, defender with defenders, and even defense, it's center halves and center halves. That's how I do my comparisons. No, he did well. He did well. But I said, there must be a reason why the coach don't call him, right? There's a reason why the coach didn't call him. He did well, but he was a short. He actually did very well in that game, but it was a short period of time, actually. But look, Chris and Drew Ross and others, coaches know who they like, what qualities they like, and they look at training. And I think that's why Dixon's getting a lot of game, because you hear Mildred going to talk about Dixon training and how he's firing. I'm sure that influenced the coach's decision about playing him. TikTok. I hate to tell you this. Lowe is not a defensive midfielder. Now, people are like, Kranky, what the hell are you talking about? Lowe follows the ball wherever the ball is. That's not a defensive. That's not what a defensive midfielder does. Wherever the ball is, Lowe is there. That's not a defensive midfielder. Defensive midfielder is very much focused on position is a key for a defensive midfielder. And this is going to overlap. Very much focused on where I'm on the field. Spatial awareness, positional awareness are imperatives for defensive midfielder. He follows the ball. It worked against Canada because of what we needed, but he's not a defensive midfielder. We're confusing being able to play defense with somebody who's a defensive midfielder. No, sorry. He's not. And I can't buy into that. I'm not going to agree to that. Do I think Lowe is the second best defender in the team? Good question. If I was to rate the defenders, wow, good question. Let me just go. You're talking about center backs or just defenders? So are you saying Lati, Pinnock, Lemby, Greg Lee, what's his name who just had surgery from Luton? He's come to me. Amari Bell, Hector. Are you comparing all of them, or just compare center backs? Because I don't like to compare left and right back with center backs, right? So to me, the comparison would be between Pinnock, Bernard, Lati, who I think played really well the other night, Hector, and Lowe. I would say Lowe to me is similar to Bernard. I think Pinnock is the best of all of them, and it's going to make it strange to people. I don't have enough sample size for Lati, but based on his performance the other day, I think he's up there. So I think it's between Lowe and Bernard, given they're similar players. Hector is someplace in the middle. That's the way I view it. TikTok is saying Lowe is best of what we have. No, I totally disagree with you. I don't think Lowe is better than K-Roy. K-Roy is a much more complete midfielder. Lowe is a one-dimensional midfielder. I'm not trying to beat Lowe people. I think we talk about Lowe too much. You know, I'm going to stop talking about Lowe after a while in this program, because you know what? Lowe just seemed to divide opinion quite a bit. I'm not sure the player should be criticized as much as he has been criticized, frankly. You get a lot of criticism from a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. But the player's a center half who was sacrificed to play midfield, and he did an unbelievable job in a game. And the coach believed he should stay in there because he gave him that toughness in the middle and that aggressiveness in the middle. I don't agree with the coach, but that's not new. So, yeah. Mustwin, I assume that's me. Mustwin, and Chris and others. Let me say these people. Not because somebody doesn't agree with you mean they're being political, you know. I'm not being political. I don't know how to be political. I get beaten up for not being political. I don't know how to be political, but I'm not going to say something I don't believe. I think I've been said this before. I think Chris was the one who saved me when we interviewed Lowe, because Lowe was getting upset when Manning's man called me out to say I criticized Lowe. Right? I think it was Chris or somebody who said, no, Kranky, I was can't play at a high level. And then Lowe calmed down a little bit. That's a fact. It's on tape. I've always given him kudos because I can see some ability there. But I'm not being politically correct. I think Lowe and Bernard are similar. Bernard makes mistakes in game, you know. This don't cost us. But I like Bernard. But he makes mistakes in game that don't cost us. I think Lowe and Bernard are similar. That's a fact. I actually think it's Pinnock and then Joel and then Hector and then Lowe and Bernard. That's my view. Because the reason why I say Lati is very mobile. He's played midfield. He has a lot of qualities that today's center backs need. Ability to play the ball on the ground, to defend well, to have mobility, to be well positioned. He showed me that against the US in the Nations League, and he showed me against Mexico more recently. I think that's why the coach played him there. But Dre DJ, that's you guys' opinion. That's my point on this. You guys believe that your opinions are fact. And it's not fact. And we can agree to disagree. I just said I think it's Pinnock, then Lati, then Hector someplace. I like people who's played midfield, who can play defense. No one can say Low play midfield, but I don't think he's a midfielder. I think Low and Bernard are very similar, frankly. I don't know about West Harding. I don't see enough of West Harding. I've seen him maybe once or twice at Jamaica. But yeah, that's my view. So people gonna beat me and say Kranky being political. I don't. You know what's funny about that? I don't get a lot of Kranky being political in life. Just in general. Even when I worked in the corporate environment, in fact, I got the contrary, that I was too much outspoken, which get me in trouble sometimes. But that's your perspective, and I appreciate it. If you guys think I'm political. But Chris, that's your Chris. Not because somebody play a Man U. Chris, here's my view. I think our goalkeeper could play in the EPL. He's better than what's his name, a keeper for the US. So Chris, let's talk about that, Chris. Can we do a comparison between leagues and all that? Do you think Turner is better than Blake? Turner's playing the EPL. Play for Arsenal. Plays for Nottingham Forest now. Because we're using EPL as the barometer. Do you think Turner is better than Blake? Let me know. Let me hear your view, Chris. But I understand that, Chris. But not everybody get the opportunity to play Chris at the highest level. Yeah, I know, but he's played in MLS for quite a bit. He's played overseas. He's got contract to go to Egypt. It happens, right? Bernard is playing the championship. He's not playing EPL. And I like Bernard. I've spoken to Bernard. He's a good person. But we're doing a comparison between players. That's my view anyway. When I see two of them play, that's my view. TikTok. TikTok? I mean, I don't know where you talk about TikTok. You mean win the ball? You'll watch TikTok. You ready to watch Lati play football? Don't watch him at midfield and say about win the ball now, because he's on the midfield, my defender. He's not playing his position. Just like how Lua should play in my position, that's what Lati is doing now. The coach of Lati playing was supposed to play. I'm not a midfielder. I've said Lati's not a midfielder, Lua is not a midfielder. But they're both good defenders. Chris, you have strong views, and I appreciate your strong views, but we agree to disagree. Hit the like button, people. The like says 85, but trust me, people have come and gone. It should be a high like number. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. And by the way, people, unlike I want subscribers, because right now I'm 35. The last time I checked, below 1,000. It's very disappointing to me because I thought I would reach 1,000 already. And some people say Kranky agrees that you just start your program. No, this is my 4th week of going. I should be 1,000 already because I'm here 4 days a week. And last week it was like 5. So I'm hoping I get the 35 subscribers between now and midweek, actually, between now and Wednesday. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. For instance, Kranky, Lou always say before you be quick on him, try to get 62 caps and 50 stars for your country. Yeah, Farod, you're right about that. And he's a pretty confident person, actually. He's very, very confident. My only disappointment with him when he said that, they asked him about the players he's played with and who he go to battle with, and he gave some all local names. I was just like, interesting. But no, I think he's a good player. That's my view. And the coach actually rates him. Because the coach always wanted to play him. Right? And I'm sure they sit down and watch the game subsequent to the game's completion and have a view of that. So Cygnus is saying Chris is the most biased Jamaican fan. I don't think he's the most biased fan. I think Chris has strong views about certain things. I think Chris knows his football, and he's not partial. He's very impartial about who he rates. But just like me, I'm not always right, even though I think I am. Chris is not always right, right? A lot of these things are opinion. They're subjective. They're not objective. So. Okay. And TikTok, I don't watch him enough outside of playing for Jamaica, so I wouldn't know. I've said this to people, I really watch championship football. I watch the playoffs, but I don't really watch championship football. I watch mainly EPL and the football. I watch mainly EPL. I don't even watch MLS. I probably watch more JPL nowadays because so much. I don't watch a lot of those other games. Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
I don't even watch MLS.
Yeah, Kranky Donkey.
Second, please.
Just a few quick points.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on Bobby Reed as a player?
What about
as
Bobby
a player,
Reed?
like technically?
You're breaking up, Carl. You're breaking up. Not sure what the problem is. I can't hear well. You're breaking up. Hello?
Yes, you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up. What are you saying?
I'm saying, what's your thoughts on Bobby, technical as a player?
I like Bob. No, Bobby Reed is what I call a utility player. He's not
Mm-hmm.
exceptional, but he's good in almost everything he does. He's probably more of a 7 player. He won't get 9s and 10s really, but he does everything decently, right? He works really hard. He can keep the ball decently. He'll give you the odd goal here and there. He's a good player, and that's why he plays for Fulham because you need those players in the team. But he's not exceptional in any one area. He's not a
Oh,
brilliant goal scorer. He
so
doesn't go by people. He doesn't make brilliant passes. He's just a workhorse who plays decent, frankly.
okay, so
I'm
Bobby
very
starts for
I'm very
you all
versatile, by the
day.
way. He can play. He can play right back, left back. He played midfield yesterday. He can play right wing, left wing. Probably can play center forward. As I said yesterday, the only place he probably doesn't play well, and I don't even know this for a fact because I could be wrong, is the goalkeeper because he plays. He does. He's very utility players are always versatile. Coaches love them
Hmm.
because they can move them around, and he's one of those players.
I just feel like I need more from him, or he just has to sit on the bench, man.
You think he should be on
I
the
feel
bench?
like
Why? Why?
no, I said I just feel like I need more from him as a player.
Oh,
You play at
yeah.
You're playing at the highest level. Understand me? You're playing at the highest level. You're playing the PL, and this Mexican team is not highly rated by the Mexican fans. You understand me? These these Mexican players are playing locally. Majority of their players, 70% of their players, are playing locally, and the rest 30 in Europe, some in Europe. You understand? So we get this game and we toss it away. That done gone already. All right. But because Mexico have a playing style, well, I'm not trying to get into playing style because Jamaica doesn't have that. But the top players like Bobby, that y'all quote unquote rate, I rate him because he done some good things for Jamaica, but his last 5-4 games has been poor. I rate Bobby a 3 in his last 5-4 games. I'm not gonna
You thought Bob
sit
was at
here
3
and
yesterday? You thought he was at 3 yesterday?
average 5.
Hmm. You sure you watched
He
the
came
game?
off.
You sure you watched the game well?
I'll watch the game, Cranky. I'll
You
watch
know,
the game.
scoring is not just offense, right? I think sometimes when we're scoring players, we're
Oh,
only
come
scoring them
on, Cranky.
offensively, and we're not scoring them based on what they're asked to do in their jobs that the coaches asked them to do.
Bobby passing rate wasn't high
I
positional
think
wise.
Jamaica's passing rate yesterday was 70-something%, which
But I'm
is
talking about in the. Sorry, go ahead.
no.
Go
But I'm
ahead.
saying for Jamaica to pass 70-something%, even though you could say some of the passes are at the back, is that's not Jamaica's norm. Frankly, we don't pass 70-something% against the Mexican teams and the U.S. teams. We may do so against the Grenades of the world, but against the better teams, we struggle. So
But do
yeah,
you know majority of those balls are technically long balls, right?
but if they're
Then
really long balls, then
shortcut passes.
no. But here's the thing, that even make it more of an impressive stat because if you're playing long ball, and you have 70-some% possession. If you play shorter, it may be in the 80s, like Mexico was, or maybe even in the 90s. You got to think about it that way. If you're
Yes,
playing
yes,
long
because
ball, which means you have less
mhm.
probability of it being getting to your teammate, and you have 70-something% possession, then it says a lot about you.
Yes, because they're using the width, and they should have been doing that. They're using the Franks, they're finding the Margaret, they're finding the Shamar, they're finding the Lembakisa, on the width. That's what Jamaica should have been doing, but I'm not trying to go down there in the play. I'm not trying to even go down there, man, because we all know what does the coach bring to the table. Understand?
Right.
But I'm just trying to. I just wanted. I'm not here to beat him. I'm just trying to just state my point of view, what I feel that Bobby needs to improve on, and he needs to hold the ball, direct the pass. He's not a midfielder per se, but as I say, he's a versatile player. He can play multiple positions on the field. But I just feel like he needs to, demonstrate the game a little bit, have the ball. He gave away a lot of the ball yesterday, Cranky. Agree or disagree? I know you watched the game. I know you rate him highly. But I feel like Bobby Reed, as a top professional player at the highest level, in the number 10 jersey, he's basically the my stock team.
But he was
That
he was a 6 on Saturday. He wasn't a 10 on Saturday. He may play the 10 sometimes. He play more wide, frankly.
No, me attack 10 9 back, me attack 10 Lionel Messi, me attack 10
Yeah,
back.
but
Even though
10 in the
that
back
no
doesn't
play
mean you
ball,
play.
that no play ball game, yeah, that no play. We all know that.
Right.
My mind is just ball game, know that right. Me, that no play ball game, but you are in the 10, you know, when other players looking at you, players are looking at, oh, this number 10 got to be one of the best player, right or wrong?
Right, but he plays the 10, but he wasn't asked to play the 10. That's probably his normal number that he uses because the position he plays. He switched to midfield because Lowe wasn't available, and it appears that the coach was saying Lowe would have started at the 6. That's why he probably had his 10 on still, because that's his number. But he would have played maybe out wide or playing the 10 position. So you can't beat the number and the person. But frankly,
what do you feel
number,
like? You feel like he's giving you everything?
I think he's giving me. I think he's maximized his potential. Yes, but we all have limit to our potential, don't we?
So that's a good player.
No, he's a good player.
And in my eyes, I don't feel like he's doing good. So what's that showing him? He's a very bang average player. Average.
Well, that's your view. I'm not gonna knock your view. That's your view. I think he's a good player for Jamaica. I don't think he's an exception.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, you know. Mexico and Canada game against when we go to Azteca, yeah? And the game against Canada, yeah? But Bobby
doesn't cheat the game. Bobby does not cheat the game. Yeah, but
Carla, an alternative, man.
Yeah, but
alternative.
Carla, Bobby doesn't cheat the game. But here's the thing, Carla. We can't say we need an alternative when there's no alternative available. We can say we need it, but give me an example of alternative
Kranky, you can get. Come on. You know what Bobby I use? Higher status. Yeah?
So who you think should play instead of Bobby? So you gotta have okay, people, I'm gonna say this going forward. If you have a criticism about something, we say we need another player.
No, this is constructive.
No. But here's my point to you though. Give me a name that you think could fill the role.
Right now?
Yes.
He's not in the team, but you know, he don't have a. I mean, we can say JPL players, but like we haven't seen a lot of them.
Which JPL?
Right now,
wait.
No, but I'm saying,
which JPL player?
I'm saying a lot of bootlickers fans out there would come and say on here, oh, Tariq McGee, I'm not that type of player. I know Tariq McGee is not we got potential, but I'm not gonna just say things. I'm not gonna look stupid on here.
Once again, caller, Par just closed the game down to 2-1. They just scored. So it's Colombia 2, Paraguay 1. And poor defending at the back post because there were people look at that play. There are 3 Paraguay players with 1 defender, yet there's about 6 defenders in the area. That's where you know that people are not conscious of where they are on the field. They lack positional awareness. Look at that. Ball over Sanchez, which is normally does at Tottenham, but there are 2 players behind him. Where is the left back? Sanchez is center half. Go ahead, caller. That's where we talk about people on the field not knowing where they are.
Yes. Yes. I'm saying I'm not gonna just say anything about player. Ask me what players could we use to replace him right now. Right now, Bobby is a versatile player. If you ask me, if we get the Omari, and if we get Reese, Bobby don't start in the starting level.
Bobby ain't getting no Omari or Reese because they ain't coming.
But I'm saying, well, if they come in the team, I know he's not starting. I know that for a fact.
Well, no, I wouldn't even say that.
Those play more, but those play, or you say those play more technical and maybe by far.
Yeah, but here's the thing, coach.
Those players scoring goals.
But caller, we just talked about Bobby's versatility. Bobby could probably go back in the midfield if we get Reese.
That's what I'm saying. That's all
you're not listening. You're just talking. You're not listening. When you're here, you can also allow me to talk. All right. Here's my point.
All right, go ahead.
Bobby's a versatile player. He plays on the wing. He plays in the 10. He plays either wing. If you bring in Reese Nelson, as you're suggesting, Omar Hutchinson, they are forward players. Omar plays the 10 on the wing. Nelson plays the wing. They're still in midfield open. Mm-hmm. Bobby can transition there. Right?
And play in it. I'll play
CM. Play where he played yesterday.
And play CM.
Yeah, you can play where he played yesterday.
If you
get better CM, that's a different story.
Against big CMs, against bigger other physically CMs in COPA America and also
So caller, give me a CM name. So you're saying Bobby already. Give me a CM name. Give me a CM name.
Right now?
Yes. Right now.
For regular boys right now.
Yes, caller.
Bobby Reed is not a CM
No, no,
though.
caller. Don't change the argument. Don't change direction. Give me a
But
CM
yeah, I
name.
say
Give me a
better
CM
CM right
name. Give me
now.
a better CM name in for Jamaica than Bobby Reed. Give me one.
Speedy Williams.
He's better than Bobby.
Passing wise. Passing the ball, Speedy Williams.
I asked you for CDM. CDM has 4 main roles on the field. Tell me when better than. Tell me, you say passing wise, I'm not sure about that either. I like Speed is a decent player, but he's playing USL for a reason. Okay? He's playing USL for a reason. So you can't give me a
So
CDM. So you can't just say Bobby
but
not
Bobby is not
ready
a
and not doing.
CDM.
I'm not saying he's a CDM. We just talked about Bobby being a versatile player. We just talked about him being a
But
utility
that's what I'm
player.
saying. What is best position on the field?
I'm not sure he has a best position. When he plays for Fulham, he played multiple positions. For Jamaica, he does the same thing. He's a utility player.
Okay.
He fits in
All
where
I'm
the
saying.
coach
Okay.
needs him.
All I'm saying.
Yeah.
He improved because his last 5 games has been horrendous for Jamaica.
His what?
His last 5 games has been horrendous for Jamaica. Very poor.
Okay.
Very poor. Against Dominica, he didn't play anything. He captained the team against Dominic. He missed the penalty.
Right.
Was against United States. Didn't play anything in the game. Panama anything in that game. So I need to see more from him. Number 10, Ima Weir. And he basically must say the mindset for the team. Even though no number on your back don't play that. Play the game. But right. I do agree he's a versatile player. He's an all-around player, and we do need a player like that in the team. But that's just my opinion and my interpretation on him.
All
right,
Carla. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, sir. Thanks. So TikTok said she's the best CDM than everybody in the squad. All right, TikTok. People don't agree with TikTok. I think Speedy are the best CDM than everybody in this squad. I never see CDM defend nobody. I mean, like CDM passing. Like Speedy passing. I see Speedy. TikTok, you talk about people can't not defend. You ever see Speedy defend nothing? Speedy run beside people, but no defend. And I like Speedy. I don't see where Speedy defends actually. I think somebody sent me something about the quarter over read here. It's basically saying Marco Silva. Let me read. Somebody just sent me something. I'm getting a call, so I'll go back after. Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, Kranky KJ.
How are you doing, KJ?
Oh, God.
What do you say?
There still. Big on the previous caller still. When you? What was the name of the previous caller? You said?
I forgot actually. He's a young. So it sounds young, but I don't know. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Well, and he has his perspective, and that's his perspective.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's all subjective, It's nothing that we can prove in facts. You're gonna see through your own lens and say, "Oh, this is that and that is this." But to me, I agree that Bobby Reed hasn't had some good games in a couple of matches, but he's not seen properly, if you ask me, because he had a good game in this last game for sure.
Yep. Totally
Bobby Reed was so effective in breaking up a lot of those plays in the middle. If he was watching that game good, or if he need to rewatch that game, Mexico, especially in that first 45 minutes, could not run through our midfield like how they normally would, because Bobby Reed and Palmer was breaking up a lot of the plays. The poorest thing for him was probably he wasn't distributing the ball so well, and make some look blunders and things, but he definitely was making a lot of effective plays, and it helped the back line, because really and truly, that was the difference between Low being like that kind of so deep. Low can break up plays, but Low is not a good pass off the ball. So at the end of the day, Bobby Reed was a little bit more effective, seeing that we needed to hold on to some form of possession, especially when we were trying to break the counter. So to me, I think Bobby Reed was very effective. If anything, like I said, that midfield was really warranted for us because we know that was what our weakest area on the park. You see me? Separately and apart from that, I was listening to your post-match comment, and I agree with you. You're spot on in a lot of things. I think the coach is 90% to blame because he, based off even training, his players he wanted to the strategies he was trying to implement, he should have known better and know when to basically make some effective thing. It seemed like he was being too defensive and too reserved. It's a scared tactic or scared move because really and truly, he blundered by making those type of changes, especially at that time. Everybody knew that, like you said, Damari Gray was kind of tired, and rightfully so. Remember, this guy was supposed to be out for 6 weeks, man, broken arm. So people were thinking that Damari Gray had a poor game. It's expected. If you're out for 6 weeks and you just come back, your first game is an international game. I don't think necessarily much players would be looking so effective either. You understand?
Right.
Yeah, and guess who we're playing? One of the top team in CONCACAF. There's no way I expect to get a full. The best thing as a coach, of course, we're doing Monday quarterback. In hindsight, the coach would have probably just said, "Listen, give me the best 45 minutes you can give in this game, and we'll if you're still performing well, we can continue. But otherwise, give me the best 45 minutes you can get." You understand? That was probably would have been more effective. And like I said, probably him could have bring in Cephas after that, for the second half, right after that, and thing. But I don't know. I think the coach blundered him went to reserve. I feel like him in 68 minutes he tried to draw the game. It don't make no sense to me. Like, how you try to draw a game are based off the changes we make.
Right.
What I mean? You're bringing two defensive players. It's like you said to yourself, say, yo, we'll try to draw that game here, man. Let me try to reinforce. Take off our offensive player, put in a midfield, and take off another defensive player and put in another. I don't know. I didn't get it. You understand? It didn't send no strength to us. While Mexico was putting on there too to say, yo, we're going to push the attack, straighten our midfield, and go again. I just think at the end of the day, the coach needs to really just show us something like, listen, you really want to show that the team can really be effective and you can do some tactics. At least show that you can do some tactics offensively. We see what you can do defensively, and we're giving you that. I think it's fair enough. Everybody can say, yeah, from the back line, we can say, yo, we have it spot on. If it's one of the surest spot on the field, we know we have the goal on the back line. We're sure we have good defensive players enough to carry us all the way through the World Cup. We look good for defense. But that midfield and attack, you need to show us what you can do with that midfield and attack. I think that is where he needs to be working. And I don't know if he have any offensive minds around him, but he needs to get that going. It's not, unfortunately, this is not a tournament where you want to run that experiment, but you have to make some tactical moves. You have the players them, you can't bring them, and then you don't want to play them. It's like you're punishing them in some way mentally. I don't know, because as a player, how you're going to feel on the bench? You're going to say to yourself, yo, coach, you know, me always pick me and even give me a minute. I just want 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Kala. So like you used to play ball.
Yeah, well, little bit. I mean, but you understand, but we know that psychological vibes. You understand?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, nobody, especially when the game is going on, like when you see a Dixon come on and the energy, it's like in the head, I'm sure everybody's saying, why you didn't bring this youth on earlier? So it's kind of like you can't have players like that anticipating really to show this burst of energy and flow to keep the game pushing back on the Mexicans them, and you're holding them back and you're waiting like last minute. I don't know. I didn't get it. I just think the coach not trying to be effective offensively. Like seriously, where have we really have some build-up plays to say, yo, we had a nice build-up to score a goal? I can't even tell, not even when we're playing the lesser teams then. It was just a little one-off moment. A little man must probably do a little, one-off thing, and that was it. And I think Damari Gray has been doing that for the longest for us for over a year, where we feel like we had it, and it wasn't. I think it's just showing up now that really and truly we don't have any tactical play going forward. We're relying on catching a team on the counter. And that can only work for so long. Because at the end of the day, if you not put the right players there to play the counter-attacking game, you put in with two number 9s for basically running to each other. That's going to create chaos. I don't know.
So do you think we should play the 2 9s or something else?
Definitely something else. Something else is needed. Even if you want to the back 5, fine. But up top, you need 2 wingers, one on the left, one on the right. Like I said, even if him start back the Murray Green can say, yo, give me the best 45 minutes you can give me. And if anything else with us are you do a C fast. Anyone. You understand? Right. And put Dixon on the wing. Tell the kids, say, listen, show me what you got. You've been waiting for this moment. You've been giving me some sparks. Let me see if you can give me a good 45. I trust you, you're confident. You have to put that, instill that into the players before, because if not, the player will say, yo, if my coach believe in me, then I'm good. You understand? Rather than a worry, say, boy, I don't want to mess up. So I'm just saying, give the kid a chance. You pick one of your number 9s, no matter which one you want to put in the middle. Just make one number 9 stay right there. And again, as far as midfield go, I would run it again with Palmer and Bobby Reed. You understand? I think by the time
that's not happening. Not this coach anyway.
Not this coach.
That was an emergency situation where Lowe wasn't available. I don't see that happening again. But I totally agree with you about the midfield, that it should be the same exact midfield in the upcoming game. But I doubt that will happen because he sort of hinted that Lowe would have started. It was only because he had a family emergency and he wasn't in camp for most of the time. He came back with 2 days left in camp. That's why he didn't start it.
But Kranky, you believe that too?
No, I believe it, actually. I believe it. I think he wants, look, you hear him talk about Lowe with reverence.
I know.
He's basically seeing that, he covers a lot of ground in midfield, but Lowe is not a midfield. Look, there's not a Lowe. There's a lot of Lowe discussion happening, and we probably should move on from Lowe, to be honest. There's too much Lowe discussion happening, and the player doesn't deserve all this attention because most of it is not positive. But the only thing I say is that the player is not a midfielder, right? He's not a midfielder.
I agree with you. You know what is? I saw something in this Mexican game. I don't know if you meaning when he came on the field, he was trying to disrupt the players, and he did a couple of that. But really and truly, he was last for a minute.
No, because
if you check the
because
game,
he follows the ball. I mean, you follow the ball, you're gonna get lost.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, for example, it's like the coach, even if the coach probably tell him something, I feel like Lowe doesn't go by a script. Lowe go by his emotions and his feelings. No disrespect to him, because I rate you as a player, but my thing is how I perceive, how I see him play. It's like Nana say, yo, anybody coming and make me an attack. And I just feel like that's him. Him just going after the ball. Him go run out in position and run out of the formation. And a big part of that's why I was crediting Bobby Reed. A big part of him and Palmer playing the way they played was holding that midfield line, being that barrier space between our back line, because really and truly Mexico they never really had, at no point it felt threatening, especially I'm referring to the first half. At no point in that first half, I feel like, oh, Mexico will score, or I feel like, oh man, them almost score. It was just some okay plays. It was kind of like me, I said the same thing, formation falling over when we were playing US. It was just a shutdown. And I just felt like at the end of the day, when Lowe came on, again, he was just all over the place, but him run, him just tired, him just start track look a bit here and there, him break up a 1 and 2 player, yes, or him try, and that was it. But the Mexicans, them fast in the middle, them go pressure, them go take the ball right off. If you can't make that quick pass or the outlet, them go kill you. So I don't know. I think he's gonna, if he start him, I hope so. I hope he has a good game. But I'm telling you, versus a more better technical team like even Ecuador or Venezuela, I feel like it will show him up wicked.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. Actually, I do think. Look, we all appreciate his effort against Canada. We talk about it ad nauseum. But I think, look, by the way, there was a penalty given against Colombia. It's never a penalty, people. That's not even close to being a penalty. The referee saying he held him pulling down. No, he didn't. He was trying to push him off him, not to run over him, because he's about 6'10" versus 5'8". That's not a penalty in any league in any day. So that's a bad call if you get penalty. That's why he got sent. That's why he got sent to the monitor. Because it's not a penalty. He didn't hold him. He just pushed him off him.
Ref tried to change the game for Colombia.
It's an awful call. Whatever that ref got paid, he should They should have their money back. That's not the call to make. Penalty. That's a really bad call, actually. I saw that right away. I see TikTok saying penalty, but even just saying it's a penalty, not saying it should have been a penalty. But I sit here saying there's no way that's a penalty. Nowhere any day on Sunday. Sorry. Why are you looking that long, ref? VAR sent to the screen for a reason. People, when VAR sent to the screen, that means VAR disagree. It's not a penalty. He's put his two hands up. He didn't hold him. He didn't pull him. He's saying, stay off me. I don't know why we're even spending time. If you give a penalty, you should not ref another game.
Man,
Someone said Pablo Escobar paid the ref multiply. In from the phase. It's not a penalty. Why are we going back and forth? VAR already say, go look at it. VAR doesn't send you to the screen unless they think that, you know what, you made a mistake. People should understand that. And ref is not a penalty. Not a penalty.
Quick question.
Paragraph beat you if you get a penalty. Yeah?
I was gonna say for this.
Not a penalty.
For this.
Not a penalty. Go ahead. Sorry, Carla. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying for this Ecuador game.
Yeah.
What would be your starting level? I'm assuming similar, like I said.
No, I can't talk about starting level today. Come, Carla. Yeah, ask me for this. These are things that you throw there.
No.
Come back. We can't tell you, sorry. We can't, Carla. No man now come back and watch me. We don't tell me starting level already. You have to come tomorrow. And we made them talk about start. Yeah, come tomorrow, because the next year the game, come tomorrow. Same time, same place.
Yeah.
We probably don't watch along, but we'll talk a lot of football. We talk about proposed team. We talk about starting 11 on again. But we're not spend a ton of time talking about Lowe, because I don't think Lowe deserves all the stuff he's getting from people about him not playing. I agree. I've said this numerous times on midfielder, but he not deserve all the attention. Trust me. The other people need attention. Because we are focused on Lowe. We're not focused on Bowser. We're not focused on Antonio. We're not focused on the rest of the player them. Because frankly, Antonio not scoring a 7 game straight now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we understand too.
I mean, people beat me with Antonio and him play well the other day, but he's still not scoring a 7 game. He not even gets a chance to score. That's bad for your forward.
You know, still what I can understand why people kind of sympathize with Antonio. You see, because of the role Antonio been playing, it's the coach have him playing that way, you know. The coach, I tell him, say, listen, you're going to play like a number right behind the 9, but like a 10 and a midfield role. I don't know. It's like him okay with it. He co-signs it because at the end of the day...
I think people are saying that. I don't agree with that all the time, because sometimes he's the deepest person on the field. They leave him up there by himself. So that's a 9 role. That's not a 10 role. Yes, so now he and Buzz are interchange a lot, but we seem to be saying Antonio plays at 10. That's why he can't get chances. Well, 10 get chances in football. Let's say he's playing the 10. Don't Odegaard play 10? Don't Fernandez play 10? Think about all the 10s in football. 10 supposed to get chance, create them, get them, score them. Same thing.
But honestly, though, look at the times when he had the ball. As it's like him run past a man, him square team, nobody there.
Yeah,
I've seen him did it like 3 times in the game.
I agree with you, which is that's part of the problem. We play kick and edge football. So when you get the ball, you isolate by yourself against 3 defenders. Sometimes against Mexico, he's against 3 people. He has no pass. So why am I playing kick and edge football when we can't get the ball?
But I mean, think about Boza. No, it's not also technical with his foot.
One second, Carl. It says the TikTok. We're not long close to scoring on TikTok. Close to scoring in our stats. Or close to score. Close to scoring in our stats. Nobody not close to score. Also, Antonio was close to scoring. Where's that in SoFa score TikTok? Let me know. Go ahead, Carla. Sorry.
No, that's a Jamaican term for when people say, "Yo, we nearly win."
Yeah. Nearly business. Well, Carla, is this the first time you're calling? Is the first time you're calling?
No, I'm calling you last. Where was it? 2 days or a couple days ago. But no, I can't leave 1.5 time.
I get CNAC. I don't remember, but it's a good call. It's a good call.
Good call. You know, maybe we can have this for a topic. Looking into the future, what style we need to play, seeing the players we have, and also what coach should we go for next in the future to kind of bring out those type of play.
Right. So I'll say one thing about that.
Right, that don't.
Whatever style we're playing is not this style.
No, I know, but I'm saying, see the type of players we have.
Whatever style we are playing, this is not one of them. This is another. It's a low block football. This is a low block. It's a counter-attacking low block football. We're in a kick and edge business. But we'll talk about that. It's a good point. We'll talk about it.
Kranky, honestly, this is more so for Mr. Speeder because really and truly, I know you're talking if you don't want it. But the reason why I'm saying, because guess what? Hypothetically speaking, let's say when after this 10-year run out, and them say, all right, we're gonna look to another coach. It now says, a lot if them go back for another coach in those area, because you have to think about the style of play they're gonna bring, plus the type of players you have. If you feel said this is the style of play where you do the type of offense we have and everything, it's not, they're gonna basically still look the same.
Yeah, so let me say this about that. So somebody's saying we need a Brazilian coach, a Colombian coach. No, we need a Spanish coach. We need a Spanish coach.
That's what me think about. Yeah, the only place I would say, the only other area in South America I would say, probably Argentina.
Yeah, no, we need a Spanish coach, man.
Spanish coach, man. Yeah, man, seriously. That's what I was. That's why I asked the question, but whenever I want to mention my choice, because I say maybe, like I said, can be an next topic, but
yeah,
a Spanish coach to me, we need somebody to give us that way of that style. I think with our talents, that's the style we need.
If we get Spanish coach, we can develop midfielders and more at the grassroots level too, not just for the national team. We need to bring in some Spanish coach to help develop our midfielders, because we have no midfielder. Zero coming out of Jamaica, locally born, who we can say, you know what, has world-class potential. Zero. We could mention forwards that may have high potential. We can mention one midfielder, which is tragic.
Before we leave, I just want to say this. Any potential young star or youth, if you're listening or watching this back on the playback, please, or even fathers, right now, the midfield position is basically the highest paying position in football. Get to use them developing that position. I tell you right now, wing players are diamond.
Forward is the highest paying position. Forwards are. But midfielders are not far.
Well, I guess what I'm saying in the last 3, in terms of like with Chelsea and other teams that pay for midfield players, Declan Rice, I'm saying those are the highest paid players. The
difference between what you pay for the player and how much they get paid, right?
Yeah.
So Mbappe is the highest paid player. I want the highest, right? Haaland, Mbappe, they're gonna make more than say other players. But I understand what you're saying, which is Rice, Caicedo, Fernandez, all cost over £100 million.
Yeah. Right. As in far as, like I said, between the paying the clause and everything, those were the highest numbers have to be shelled out. Right. So these are big positions. You understand? Yep. So I just think that people need to focus on to those positions and not gonna die. So, but big up our respects in Kranky.
Yeah,
we check in again.
Thanks for the call. Call again. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, man. Cool. Yeah, man.
All right, people. We're almost at time. The game is almost over, and my time is almost over. I have 7 minutes left. The game is about another 2 minutes. If you want to call in for the last call of the day, please do so. I'll say this. I appreciate you being here. Somebody calling right away. Good night.
2 minutes. I call it.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Who am I speaking? Who am I speaking?
This is honorary Jamaican.
It's the honorary Jamaican. So honorary Jamaican, what do you say?
Look, I am.
And by the way, honorary Jamaican, I don't recognize his number. So you're calling a false pretense. So look, I don't recognize the number. But go ahead, honorary Jamaican. Go ahead.
So just real quick, I'm listening to the conversation. First, let me defend. There's a gentleman that does some little 10-minute video in Jamaica. He does it from his car.
Yeah, Maverick. Oral Tracy, yes. Oral Tracy.
Okay. And I heard him today, either today or yesterday, discuss the World Cup qualification and his disappointment with Jamaica performance and whatever the case may be. And he called about a dozen teams that Jamaica has to worry about when it comes to qualifying for the World Cup.
Right.
And he never called Trinidad and Tobago. and I find that to be highly disrespectful. As somebody who is supportive of Jamaica, he was really disrespectful.
Wait, maybe he's been watching football. Go ahead, Honorary Jamaica. Go ahead.
I'll meet him one day. Hopefully, I'll meet him one day, and I can tell him. I can tell him how disrespectful I find his life.
So, who he mentioned? Did he mention like Honduras, El Salvador,
He mentioned
Panama?
Honduras. He mentioned everybody and the grandmother. He didn't mention Trinidad and Tobago.
Did he mention?
Right?
So he mentioned Suriname and Curacao and Haiti too.
He mentioned Haiti. I don't think he mentioned Suriname and He mentioned Haiti. He mentioned Honduras, Costa Rica. He mentioned what is important here in this part of the conversation is that he didn't mention Trinidad and Tobago, which is highly disrespectful.
But maybe he didn't mention any English-speaking Caribbean countries. I would assume that he didn't.
Well, look, if he's talking about who would be challenging for a spot in the World Cup, I know that Jamaica is in a better position right now. They're in the driver's seat. They are welcome into the World Cup. I think they're in a good position.
I think the road bumpy, I think even
well, you all could make it, and that's why I'm calling you. You all could make the road bumpy if you want.
The road looks like it's bumpy so far, based on how this coach is coaching.
But look, I listened to your conversation yesterday. I listened to, I guess I missed the first hour of this, but I listened to the last hour of it and 50 minutes, and others as well. And one thing that I'm not hearing, because apparently it's not a problem, nobody is complaining that the players is not giving the best effort, 100% effort. Is that correct?
It's not. Some of the callers did say that. Yes, there are callers who said that, and I don't think that's a correct thing. I think what callers,
no. I am saying that it seems as though the players are giving 100% effort.
Right, but some callers are saying they probably are not. They're thinking that they're tired. They may not be fit. That's some of the conversation. I think. Look, I don't think every player who's play a pressing game. That's what people want to see. I don't think everyone can play a pressing game. It takes a lot of energy out of you, right? And if you haven't played it and you have to do all that work, you're usually just playing mid block or low block or whatever we play. It's hard to go switch to a pressing game. I think we press in spurts, in moments in the game. But we can't press for 90 minutes. We would die after. How much we have to defend Andre? We'd die after 60.
Well, that would be unfortunate. I don't know if that's true, but putting that aside, I seem to think I watch the game and I seem to think the players are giving an effort. They're still playing for the coach. They're giving an effort. They're probably going out and try to do what he asked of them. It didn't work. Yes, on Saturday, so they got to go again.
So
but
let me put you on the spot before you go further. Did you? Can we ask everybody that? Did you agree with the changes that were made on Saturday? Wait. You're a coach,
right?
You have an academy.
Yes, I am a coach, and because of that, I will say to you that we don't know what caused those changes. We don't know. I don't know what caused those changes. I may not have made them if all things being equal, right? No injuries, nobody feeling ill, no whatever the case may be.
There were no injuries as far as I know. So, so you have that information now.
But that's going to lead into what I'm going to mention, right? You know the importance, or let me ask you, what is the importance of having support?
Well, I mentioned that yesterday, which is my support should help me in my decision making. You notice when Arteta's on the sideline, he's going to do something.
No, not in that context.
In what context?
I'm talking about fan support. Sorry, what's the importance of having
fans help to motivate players, give them energy, help them in difficult situation, encourage them. Fans supposed to be doing that. Fans are the 13th man, as they say. It's the 12th man or the 13th man.
Right, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know the answer to this, but it seems as though yesterday there wasn't any sort of media at the press conference after the game.
Not any. There were medias, but no Jamaican media.
Jamaican media. I'm speaking about Jamaican.
I didn't hear one ask a question. No.
Right. So if that is correct, that's a little bit unfortunate, and that's part of the support that we're talking about, right? That could help influence the players' performance, the team morale. Give them a psychological boost. All of the good things that we get from fan support. And what we're hearing is the team is in competition right now, and people are talking about replacing the coach, removing the coach. And the conversation, I don't know how it helps the team in this moment. I think the people in charge, whoever they may be, they would have more information than you all do and we do, and they would know if the coach needs to change. But in this moment, do you think the team need the support of the fans in this moment?
I think the team has been asking for the fan support. I'm not sure the fans love football enough in the volume you need to provide that support. And some people are like to sit in their chairs, like yours truly is doing now, and talk about the team. But
no, but I saw you in Dallas.
I did go to Dallas, and you know I don't like to fly, so it's a stretch for me to fly the game. I'm telling you.
So,
but I'm just saying we can't just all sit in our chair and don't go and support the team because team don't want you sit up on TV or watch them, or up on YouTube or watch them. They want to see in the stands. And as Vibes Man's called, because he said he went to the game, he said he was sitting in a crowd where it was all Mexicans around him, right? And what he's basically saying is that we need to have more coordinated way when we get to the games, because some Jamaicans have gone to the game. We don't all sit together. And secondly, we need more to be at the game because the Mexicans dominate that environment. Now, there's a lot of Mexicans that live in Houston. That's no excuse. We don't go to the games as much as we should. When they played in New York, Guatemala played us in New York, it was mainly Guatemala. When I went there, it was mainly Guatemalans at the game.
So let me say this. We always reference the English fans and how they beat the team and the coach.
Right.
But the English fans show up in droves.
Yes, they do
right?
show up.
Now,
yes.
They are part of the problem, in my opinion, when it comes to the English team, because they show up, they do show up and there for the team. But when the team don't perform, like in the last game, my understanding is that, Denmark got a tie, they got a point out of the game, they came with a point, they left with a point. And the fans stayed in the stadium and like they didn't want to leave. They were happy. When the English fans, most of them were going like this, right? Because they were frustrated, they were upset, they had bigger expectation.
Yeah.
And that could affect the team negatively. But my point is, the fans show up. They're always there. It doesn't matter where the team plays, where in Europe or where in the world, they show up. And they show up in numbers. And I think in the Caribbean, like I remember in the Gold Cup, Trinidad and Tobago versus St. Kitts and Nevis.
Right.
There was a handful of people in the stands in Miami.
Yeah, and that should never happen in Miami, for example, where there's a large contingent of fans from the Caribbean. That should never happen.
It should never happen. And we've got to understand that it's costing CONCACAF the same thing, more than likely to put on a game with America and Mexico and put 90,000 people in the stadium than if they might have to have a few more security or whatever the case may be. But to open up the stadium, the cost is essentially the same.
Yes.
So the idea is I think the team has a good chance of making it to the World Cup, unless you all choose to destroy it. Right? I think FIFA won them at the World Cup.
Well, no,
Adidas contracts.
Well,
everything is going in your
favor. We're trying to get views. No, look, we're not trying to destroy it, Andre. To be serious, though, we're not trying to. Here's what happens: we're calling it like we see it, and because we all watch football at the highest level, that's the problem, Andre. When you give people exposure, and information, their expectations heighten, right? Their standards increase. They have higher standards. That's what happened to everybody across the world. Give them information sharing, give them the internet. So now we're seeing what excellence look like. We want excellence, and we're not getting excellence. We're getting so. Can't even call it C. We're getting D+.
But it and that's understandable. That's understandable. But to get to the World Cup, we one of the things that I think is important in terms of choosing a coach is somebody that's a leader, right? That could lead not just the national team, but the stakeholders in Jamaica, everybody that's involved in football. And I think, do you think that is happening right now based on the atmosphere, the environment was taking place?
So, look, I think the coach has garnered the respect of the administration. I think the coach seems to have a love-hate relationship with the fans. I don't think that the fans are not happy with the style of play and the system that we play or lack thereof. I think the coach have garnered the respect of the players. So if you think about all the constituents, the players, the administration, the fans, right? And sponsors. Look, I think the fans, I don't think, are on board holistically. Some are not. The administration seems to be on board, right? The players seem to be on board, except for the ones we're trying to get, they're not coming. So if for all those constituents and all the interested parties, most of them seem to be on board. But fans have high expectation. Fans have high standards. And when you go, and actually, I don't think CONCACAF is on board in the concept of the teams in CONCACAF like Mexico and US expect Jamaica to do better because we went and got a bunch of EPL players. And they're saying they play at the highest level. Why can't you guys play for better football?
Right, but you know, it's only in the Caribbean you would hear fans saying that somebody that plays in the EPL is not a good player, which is so far from the truth. You don't play professional football, right? Especially at that level, and not be a good player. Now there's things that can go wrong that make a player not perform, and as coaches we got to figure those things out. But you know, your favorite EPL player from West Ham, Mikel Antonio, right? He's got to be a good player with his history in the EPL. We all have seen it. Now, the question is he surrounded by the type of quality that would create chances for him? He's a striker, right? He's a striker. And to score goals, somebody or a group of people must be creating. You know, Ibrahimovic didn't necessarily create his own goals. He had these moments that he did these out of the world stuff, but he was surrounded by players that was making things happen, creating opportunities so that he can score goals. So whether it's him, the 40-something goals that Haaland scored in the first season, you know, when he's not getting service, he's not scoring goals. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I am saying, but here's the thing with Antonio. He's not even getting chances. Forget about scoring goals.
And I don't know that
when we played the Gold Cup, everybody scored but him. Bernard scored. Russell scored. The dog walking on the back of the stadium scored. Everybody scored except the forward. Like, how does that work? Right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, here's my point. My point is that it seems as though everybody from Adidas to FIFA to CONCACAF, everybody wants Jamaica to win the World Cup. From the English-speaking Caribbean, Jamaica has the best chance. I pray and hope that Trinidad is able to be successful and be there as well.
Well, you know your history. You know your history is hurting you, right?
Because
when you were rich, you didn't export people. See, we were never rich, so we export people. So now some of them are come back. The descendants them come back, come help you. You don't have nobody to come back, come help you.
But I think what's hurting us more is that we are not taking care of ourselves. We don't. We shouldn't be wanting handouts to get there. We should be taking care of ourselves to get there. You understand?
That's true. That's true.
Right. So, but hopefully we could. But if we don't, we gotta have a team to support from the English-speaking Caribbean. And I've been saying this ever since I showed up on I Am Sure Sport, is that we have to be careful that we don't rob ourselves the opportunity to be there.
Yeah, no, it's what you're saying. It's what you're saying. You're saying the fans need to be on board with the players and the coach and the administration, because the fans can help to derail something which should be, I wouldn't call it rubber stamp, but has a good opportunity for us to get there.
No, I don't. I wouldn't allow you to frame it like that. don't frame it
all
like
these
that.
things are subjective, so that's why I interpret it. So what's your interpretation?
Well, right.
What are you saying?
So you give me a chance. We've got to support the team. The team needs the support of the fans.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay, keep going.
Right.
Keep going.
But I'm not saying that we can't criticize, but we are calling players who are making a living playing football. Not good players. We're calling for players who haven't expressed any interest in playing for Jamaica. We're calling for this because what exists right now, right? There are people in charge. I heard Mr. Speed said on one of those shows that he went and got this coach. Yes, I think in the same way he will know if the job is getting done. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
But the coach, look, if you hear Rudolph speaks, it seems like the coach's philosophy is similar to Rudolph's philosophy. Even though look at the coach's philosophy and Rudolph's are similar, even though I hear him talk about today us having 38% possession and how good that was. So I'm really confused because
who's saying 38% possession is good?
Rudolph said that because what he's saying is that against Mexico, we normally have low 30s in possession. So
but
have 38, but that's better than we have in the past, so there's improvement.
But 38% possession with a 70% pass completion. I mean, I don't know if it's good, but we have to be careful what informs our expectation when we play Mexico, when we play the USA.
What informs my expectation? When you bring up a bunch of EPL and championship players, I expect you to run through CONCACAF. That's what informs my expectation. When I expect you to struggle, think about this, Andre. So we went and get all these EPL players playing at the highest level. CONCACAF, as we can see from these competitions, struggles against the better teams in the world. They struggle against the South American team. US may beat Bolivia, but Bolivia not good. They might 80 something rank. But most of if this tournament, we won't have a CONCACAF team in the finals. We won't. I don't care what anybody says. US probably does well. Mexico will do okay, but they get beaten by these teams. So if we could get a bunch of EPL players who are comparative to the players who play for these countries, why can't we compete with them?
It's a fair point. It's a fair point, but it's got to be figured out one way or the other, because despite what people may think and say, Ecuador is no slouch.
They almost beat Venezuela with 10 men. They play Venezuela with 10 men.
Yeah. So you're not gonna thinking that we're gonna run over Ecuador. It's I don't know about that, right? And then the last game is Ecuador played who did Ecuador play last night?
They played Venezuela.
Saturday. Right, and Venezuela
Saturday. Yeah.
And Venezuela is no slouch either. So
no, they drew with Brazil in Brazil, so that tells you a lot.
Yeah, so we could be facing, Jamaica could be facing 0 points potentially. So the team needs support. That's
why the Mexico game was so important, and that's why that change was. I said it at the time. It's one of the worst changes I've ever seen in football, ever. And I'm watching football for a long time. One of the worst changes, time of day, game, situation, how you're playing. One of the worst changes ever.
So your next show, you should be beating the traditional media so that they should be out in Las Vegas.
And I love doing that. I'm gonna do that. Actually. I love doing that. They're not doing their job. They're being inept. We used to beat the JFF. The traditional media forget beating at Jamaica big time. It's almost like they're colluding with. It's almost in Jamaica you have the elites and they all collude together, they all engage together, and nobody give each other a hard time. Like that's how I view it. Because no traditional media yesterday or Saturday was asking that is unbelievable.
One of the things that happens at big football clubs that have success, a Man City, a Barcelona, Liverpool, United, these clubs that have success over time, the manager goes in and is able to get everybody to pull in the right direction. He shares a vision that the kit man, the grounds man, everybody buys into, including the fans. And I think that's what you should be attempting to achieve, not you personally, but the country, the island of Jamaica should be attempting to achieve to get to the World Cup.
Look, I think sometimes, what happens? The life itself, sports is one component of life, and how we operate as people. We don't operate any different when we play sport in terms of supporting each other, and that affects performance. And people may use athletics as an example. Athletics is an individual sport. That's why sometimes athletes can do well on their own. When it comes to team sports, it's a whole different dynamics, right? The team need to coalesce as a team, come together as a team. Camaraderie needs to be great. Need to work together seamlessly. Sacrifice for each other. If you know what I thought about this the other day. You know what should have been done? And players won't do this. I think Lowe and Hector should say, you know what, coach, I don't think we should make this change because no change is not needed. They're senior players. They're seeing the game. They should say, coach, I don't think a change is required.
Think about that.
And I've seen that happen in the game already. I've seen that play.
No. Hold on here.
I've seen that happen.
Hear what you're saying. You're saying that the coach who is responsible for setting the team up for success is getting to and is the leader of that group of men, and you are saying that the coach is getting ready to make a decision that he believes in the moment. We have to assume that he believes that it's going to help his team be successful, and you are suggesting that a player should say to him, no, that's not a good decision.
Andre, I've watched games sometimes with senior players on the field, and they'll say, coach, Trinum can say, coach, no. And coach, you've never seen that before? You ever watch a game where a senior players on the field saying, coach, at a wrong change, no, and the coach may say, you know what, all right. You don't want to embarrass coaches in front of a large audience, but that change was reprehensible. I mean, maybe I'm going overboard here, but that change to me was just
I think that
change is beyond belief. I'm serious. It's beyond belief.
But I've got to run. I've got to eat 15 meeting. Let me take that and the chat later.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Andre.
All right,
I don't know if coaches
care.
defend each other. You seem to be defending the coach. But anyway, have a good night.
No. Don't frame my conversation. All right, brother. Take care, okay?
All right, thanks.
All right.
So that was Andre, people. We have a lot of conversation about a lot of these topics. He's, as he said, adopted Jamaican. And we have a lot of good conversation. He runs an academy. He sends me videos. He does a brilliant job, by the way, coaching his team. A lot of kids really appreciate him. And when they go to college, they give him all the kudos. And I think his son plays for Atlanta in the MLS. And he has another kid, Edward, I think, who plays for Atlanta also. And when they interview the kid, all he's talking about is, what Andre did in terms of being a father and helping them. So he has a lot of history, and his resume speaks for himself. So when we talk football, he's very knowledgeable about football, actually. But I give him a hard time sometimes because he's still a coach and still in management. And somehow it's some inkling they always link together some way, shape, or form. No, Arna, I've seen it happen, Arna. Trust me. I've seen Bala do that. I understand the concept, Arna. We all want to play, but I've seen it happen. I would have told the coach no change is needed. We'll play two whoever change. But McKenna understand they want to play. And most of them, as a player, don't even think about that. But these are seasoned senior players. Both of them over 30. So anyway, it's not their right to do, but I'm sure they could have. That change wasn't the change. It was just not the change. So TikTok has a lot of history, and TikTok talks like I do sometimes, which is part of the establishment, but we agree to disagree a lot of times. Look, but TikTok, even Simonis, when he got to the World Cup, made a lot of changes in the team, didn't he? And Simonis then playing on K&H football either. Because I know Simpson, Whitmore wouldn't get the notoriety he did, Simpson or Cargill. They played the ball through the middle. They weren't playing no kick and run football. We didn't see Paul Hall and Burton chasing losing causes. I disagree. It was a different style of football. I don't know TikTok as the person, but he is on these programs sometime, and he seems to be a very seasoned person who knows a lot about the sport. But as I say, TikTok comes across to me, and I'm probably labeling him wrong as a contrarian or a person who have a different perspective. And his perspective is valid in some instances, not most times. And he also has good ideas, which a lot of times are contrary to what I think. So maybe that's why I don't give him the credit he probably deserves. What captain? What are you talking about, Claudine? What have you been talking about your captain? Claudine, what are you talking about? You're confusing me. I wasn't talking about anybody's captain. I wasn't talking about Antonio. I'm trying to tell people to lay off Lowe. I'm the one getting beat about people like Lowe, for example. So Claudine just came on the program, and right away, she didn't hear what's happening. She started accusing me. And Claudine, what's that about? I'm not giving anyone a hard time. I'm not talking about Antonio. I gave him his kudos, even though I say he still hasn't scored. By the way, Claudine, a 7-game straight, Claudine, I can't remember. Probably more than that, he hasn't scored yet, Claudine. Just remember that, Claudine. When you beat me, send the forward and score in a 7-game. That's why we have moved Jesus as Arsenal, not Claudine. Even though Jesus is brilliant on the ball, we can't take him goal ratio, in goal-to-game ratio. And by the way, for those who want to beat up Shamara sometime, Shamara scored 19 in 50, and he scored against Mexico. He scored 3 times against Canada. He scored against the US, so we can't see how stops him and score against. And 19 in 50 is about 2.67 goals per game, or 1 goal every 2.67 game. Brilliant ratio. I'm sure Antonio ratio is not better. No, but people are beat up low and appear low them at all. But I'm saying leave the youth alone. The youth has been a servant for the country. He's played well a lot of times. He played for the country. Yes, like everybody else, he has some aspect of the games he needs to improve. At his age, he ain't going to improve. So does Hector. So does Pinnock. So does a lot of footballers who have a certain age and them career is not in the infancy of it. So don't give him a hard time, man. Talk about Lowe too much. If we move on from Lowe, talk about the coach. Because the coach is the one who, to me, forget the beating. Lowe can't put himself on the field. Hector can't put himself on the field. Cephas can't put himself on the field. Neither can Dixon. Nobody can put himself. The coach is the one who made the decision. And even though Mexico, to me, was the better team on the night, we had a chance to get even a point, and we're going to get nothing because the coach make a change where we all, well, not all of us, but some shaking their heads about what change was that. Nobody now slander the captain. People have their perspective about the captain. Well, the interim captain, because the goalkeeper is the captain, but the vice captain, I should say, who is now the captain because the captain is out. But people are saying that they believe, well, not everyone, but some people are saying they believe that the captain should probably not play in the midfield and should be. And some people don't believe he should play at all. I'm not one of them. I'm saying Bernard and the captain are similar. They're interchangeable as far as I'm concerned. But some people are saying no. TikTok. Go check the stats, TikTok. Him score against who him play against. I'm not buy that TikTok. TikTok, he scores against who he plays against. So TikTok, him can't go score against Canada, but he not play against Canada, you know. You know what, TikTok? I think I had the stats here someplace. Since you call out low. I mean, not low, but call out Nicholson, who scores a lot of goals for the country. Let me see if I can find the stat TikTok so we can. I don't have it here. I have it here someplace. So here are Lowe's goals, people. He scored 19 goals. We sign off the people. I was supposed to sign off at 8 o'clock, but to Andre, come on, we couldn't. So he scored 19 goals, right? His first goal against the US 2019. So he scored the last 4. And here the goal, people. TikTok has suggested the man will score against SAPS. That's not true. Here it goes. USA, Curacao, USA, TikTok, that's 2 out of 3 first 3 goals against USA. Antigua Barbuda, Aruba, Suriname, Mexico, Costa Rica, remember the header, Qatar, Grenada, Haiti, Canada, Dominican Republic, we don't want to score against most of the people he play against. So people don't disrespect you to say him just score against SAPS. Because nonsense is not talk. Him score against all the top, everyone the top team them, apart from Panama, him score against them. He score against USA more than once, Canada more than once, he's going Mexico and Costa Rica. And Qatar a decent team. So no to the youth, man. Nonsense is not talk. Chris, I don't have Antonio's stats. I did it the other day. I don't know where I put it. But I get his stats next time we come talk on this. But Nicholson scored 19 in 50. That's a good ratio. It's 1 goal in every 2.6. You want to round it up to 7 if you want. 7 games. 1 in 3 is good. 1 in 2 is better. 1 in 1 is great. And him score against all the top team them. 2 of the 19 against US, 3 of the 19 against Canada. 1 of them against Mexico, 1 against Qatar, 1 against Costa Rica, 1 against Suriname, which are a sub team. Him score when him play. It's a fact. I don't care how long you want to follow them, because TikTok, the stats speak themselves. So when you come in here and say, well, we're following this player for a long time, it no matter what you want to say, when these are the goals they have against the team. Them. See the list there? See the list there? The list no make up. So what do you want to, because you know what happens, guys, sometimes? Familiarity breeds contempt. That's what happened to all of us in life. We know the person, we know them weakness, them not good. Well, the stats speak for themselves. And so the better players with breeding haven't scored that many goals. They just haven't. So I understand what you're saying TikTok and you're saying miss goal. Everybody miss goal. Messi missed 2 the other night, 2 sitter. Griezmann just missed 2 goals, get for France, but me and you can't score. Even by my old age, me I sit down and say, no, we can't score them goal like the other day because I have to put your foot on the ball. I don't know, Chris. Who knows, Chris? Maybe he's not good enough. Maybe his team is a good team. Why do we do this, guys? We keep saying, well, you know what? This player is at this club and can't get a game for a relegated team. The relegated team is in League One, one of the 5 top leagues in the world. Come on, people. There's only so much football in the world, you know. I play for top teams. If he make it to that level, that means he can't play football. No, GMG, that's not true. When he scored against Dominican Republic, where did the goal come from? Bobby Reed won the ball, passed the Cephas who fast, and Nicholson break his neck to go score the goal. When we play against Canada and get the ball from low, I'm doing it. He put the ball back in the net. Give you some credit, man. Do I think he should play instead of Antonio? Maybe not. Do I think we need 2 forwards? No, but give him some credit. Come on, give him some credit, man. No disrespect to you, man. Come on. When we against Canada, he busted the net. Do not complain. He scored 3 times against Canada. the top team in this region, based on the stats alone over the last couple of years, maybe behind Mexico in terms of ranking and US. But they're the top team in that region. We just play Argentina well the other day. Come on, man. Get the youth team credit. Can't buy that, my youth. Claudine Antonio now scored no goal. Claudine. I gave Antonio credit the other day saying play well, good. Claudine, forward up on the field, center forward up on the field to put the ball in the net. Yes, they should have other attributes. Him now score no goal. 3-12. So you know what 3-12 is going 1-4. Worse stat than Nicholson. And Nicholson play a 50 game. Worse stat. No saying scored top. No, him score against the top team. Them 6 time goal between Mexico, Canada, the USA, and at Costa Rica to it. So 7 of them goal against some of the top. No, not giving credit, man. 2 against US, 3 against Canada, 1 Mexico, 1 Costa Rica. Come on, man. Get the youth team credit, man. Give him credit. Me can't buy them thing now. Not disrespect you. Me not buy that. 3-12 are my best stats go now. 1-4, yeah, tinker. 1-3 a good start. 1-4, nah. And Antonio plays them same subs not talk about him plays some of the same player them. Who are the 3 goals against? I'm sure one was against US, that rocket. One was maybe against Honduras, I remember one of the team there. I mean, know the other one against. But in play against Canada, I'm not going to go up. Yeah, Cygnus. I'm not care about an ESPN analyst. I don't know no football. I didn't say he shouldn't start, and I basically said, well, no, I've said it. I've said, look, he's not scoring, so he should be considered somebody else instead of him. And I've said this, Imam Boza can't start. So one of them have to start. And Boza score goal, him now score goal. Yeah, we love the work rate. Love the running around. But we're not scoring on goal. We're scoring at the game, people. We scored 1 goal against US from a set piece. I don't think Antonio, I don't think he played that game actually. It was Boza. We're not scoring a goal for us. I say, boy, we are scoring enough goal. Yeah, Jason, but Jason, you just said Boza the 50 game, Boza start all the 50 people. The 50 game not talk about Boza start all the 50 game. No. So if you do stats comparison, compare apples to apples. Use minutes then. You know what you should use? Minutes. Don't use games, because sometimes games are misleading. Because we can come up with 2 minutes and it's called as a game, and it's not fair. Let's use minutes. So we'll get the minutes stat and compare them. Gigi, what you talk about? Me, I really, I don't even know what DJ Gig. What you talk about? Me only, I don't even know what Arsenal fan I chat apart from Jason Guna. Because the name says so. Me read all the stats. Me can't print everything. You know what? I can't plug this in. Because I just have to pick up what the conversation was on. So me just, you know what I do? Let me just put them from one by one. Let me start off with this. So Claudine said, me did that already? No, do this. So you can't say me a bias. Look, Boza's had some tough time, but you know, everybody have them spell. People, you think 3-12 a good Claudine, me call you Claudine. Claudine is 3-12 a good start. Me ask you that, Claudine. You tell me. Is that a good start? 3-12, Claudine. Let me know. El Salvador, US and Panama. Okay. El Salvador good. So against US and Panama. What did the 9 game in play now? Let me know that. When did the 9 game in play now? 5 goal, 9 Gold Cup. You know, scored. You know, about people. You know, scoring in the last 7 games. So those 3, say may have been 3-5. It's 0-7. That may I talk about. Man, in a dry spell. People in a dry spell need to go drink water. So maybe you shouldn't have no water. Maybe just watch the game. I don't know. So Jason, you know, Jason going to have big pan of stats. Hey, Jason, it look even worse now, Jason. Now that you send me them stats there, Jason, it look even worse, Jason. May I tell you, Jason, it look worse. It don't look no better, Jason. Because you know, the point is that you know play every single minute for every game because he have injury problem. It not much better, Jason. The man score a goal every people. The man score a goal every 374 minutes. The minutes not help him. Minutes not help him. They not help him. And Nicholson scored 162 minutes. So here's the stats, people. Antonio scores a goal in every 374 minutes. That means if I look for him goal for win a game, you're not having much. Nicholson scored 1 in 162. That means, in fact, even better than me thought, you know, because it was 19 in 50, which is 2.67, you know. So in every 90-minute game, in fact, he must score a goal 162. See, I talk about every 80 minutes he must score a goal. He must score every 80. Every 162 minutes he must score a goal. So if you look on it, just a game and a half he might take. It take Antonio about 4+ game. No, we're not talking about. And Jason say he have 16 appearances. Which make Jason, it 10 times worse than I thought, Jason. So people are giving me bad stats for making them stats look good. Hey, people, me not have no conversation about Nicholson and Antonio again. Because I'm not wrong. The stats are worse than I thought. It's 1 in 5.2 or whatever numbers, a 0.3. They're worse than I thought. We don't have the conversation again. Because I'm not wrong. Sorry. I'm not wrong. Big time wrong. Yes, Antonio's a workhorse, but we need to follow if we score a goal. I don't care what I want to say. And ESPN analysts, I don't care what you want to say. Can't tell me nothing about football. I watch it all my life. Me understand that a little bit. You can't tell me nothing. I know what you have to say. The numbers not help Antonio. Trust me. Oh, Lord, have mercy. We all start then. So when the stats now work for no change, no move the goalpost, don't it? If we have an argument and the argument not fit the discussion and it now work for no, we're going to start move the goalpost. Which World Cup we make? That was the last time we played in the World Cup qualifiers last season. Where Antonio was starting and Nicholson was on the bench most of the time in that game there. Let's not change the narrative. Let's not change the discussion. Don't move the goalpost. Stay within the boundaries we're operating in. Nicholson's stats are better than Antonio's from a goal scoring standpoint. Now, we don't talk about other aspects of the game. We talk about just goal scoring. They're not close. Now, I don't have the assist numbers, but I would love to do the not only goals, but goals contribution. Because Antonio have assists that he didn't Gold Cup, but he not score. And if Antonio was a Jamaican, locally born Jamaican, it's kind of funny on operating now. If what happened was Bailey was a Englishborn person, interrupt me, man. If I not this thing, good night. I'm supposed to have done already, but I'm still attack. Good night. Who am I speaking to?
New York.
Ratted. Diego, how you say, Diego? How you doing, Diego?
We are a great one.
No. How you doing? First, so Diego, you subscribe yet?
You're not tuning in and off and take care of everything.
Diego,
yeah.
You subscribe yet? That's the first question.
The man tell us we're not subscribed yet. No.
So you know what? All I know, Diego. So people are gonna fight me, Diego. You fight me, Diego. You fight me. I call you up on national YouTube, but them call it, whatever I want to call it. Can we know you forever, don't it?
Yeah, but you know, like I said, there's a deadline to subscribe. So we take care of that.
There is for me.
Anyway, we say there's a cranky rule when to subscribe.
Yes, there's a cranky rule. You're the first to subscribe button. So we have to.
All right, we're good one. I want to ask you, can you close to the thing there? Can you say you need the players, you need the coach and all them thing there? Tell me something. As the coach explained, we could talk football now, Kranky. We talk football. Can you know football? And we manage team. It might not be at the level, but certain things basic to football. Like how certain things basic to arithmetic. Even if you had the trigonometry, it should go back to your first grade arithmetic where did you see where you come back to you.
Yeah.
Did the coach explain? You have to ask the coach, you know, because there could be that substitution. What was it, the 68 minutes, 69 minutes?
68 minutes, yeah.
All right. Did he explain? Because that's the whole world talking about it.
Yeah, so he gave sort of two explanations.
Yeah.
The first one didn't really align well, but what he said was Lowe was out of camp until 2 days before, I guess, they played. So he only had 2 days of training, I should say. He had an emergency, he had to go away, which seemed to infer that he would have started him, but because he wasn't in camp, he didn't start him, right? He said also...
that has nothing to do with it.
No, but that, when he was asked the question...
That explains why you don't start him.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, that's
about the change. Yeah, go ahead, I'm listening.
That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
He
yeah,
also seemed to indicate
diverting. Yeah.
That the game was... This is my word, paraphrasing. The game was sort of changing. Mexican having more position, penetrating more. So he needed to shore up the defense. That's what I gather from him. Those are not his exact word, but it's my paraphrasing what he's saying. So twofold. One is I would have started this player. He was going to play anyway. So I brought him in because he can help us and he provides some physicality that we need. And second, you know what? Given what was transparent on the field, I thought the change was needed to shore up the defense.
No. So then that wouldn't answer the question for Diego. So I'm gonna ask you now, make you think for yourself now. Because we know football. Make you think for yourself. They need to have some NBA beat writers and Major League beat writers like they have to do. You have to be specific. The course get specific.
Well, no, here's what happened in that game. Actually, the media contingent seemed to be more South American than Latin American because only most of the questions were in Spanish, and then they must have translated for the person being interviewed. So then the coach would answer the question, but we never heard what the question was. We heard what it was, but we didn't understand it. At least people who don't speak Spanish. There was one English person who asked the question, because look at the question, weren't about the changes. One person asked about the changes, and that was his explanation.
So there was no Jamaican media person there then?
Huh?
There was no Jamaican media person to ask the question there.
It didn't look that way. With the YouTubers.
Okay.
And the question
so that makes sense.
The question is why though. The question is why though. The game was played in Houston. Why wasn't there Jamaican media there?
That's the $1 million question, Kranky.
Yeah, didn't understand that.
Why wouldn't there be? This is COPA America, right? Mexico media man is there. Why not Jamaica? Why are we? We are Jamaica. We have the brand too. Why are we not there?
I don't know if because people didn't travel with the team or it was expensive to go. I don't know what it was. Why media in Jamaica, so CVM, TVJ, radio station, whoever they are, or even YouTubers, I didn't hear any questions from them. The question is, were they there not given a chance to ask questions also? That could also be it. Right? I don't know what it was.
Well, that's what you must do for us now. But no, all right, so me and you reason now. Let's see if we can reason the football on an intellectual level and know the football. So give me the change now. What is how you analyze that change?
So
let's see if we can figure out why the change was. How would you analyze the change?
So when you make a change like that, you're saying, you know what? I want to solidify my defense. I want to lock it down. And I'll take a draw and leave, right? I'm going to take my point and be happy and go home. That's what you do. And here's what the change was. We took off a forward and a defender for basically two defenders, even though Lowe would have played midfield. But the problem I have is I didn't think Bernard was playing badly to be substituted because I didn't hear he was injured. I think Gray should have been removed. I thought the changes were Boza and Gray, given the performance, because Antonio was playing well, even though he don't score, Claudine. He was playing well, and Gray didn't have the best game. Boza had an okay game. Antonio was running the channels, really playing well, playing hard, contributing. So I thought we should have brought in two quicker wingers who would then force the Mexicans to respect them. It may have made them play more cautious than just throwing people forward and lessen the pressure on us. I thought we created more pressure when we get more defensive because, you know what? No, you have no outlets when you win the ball.
Let me give my take now. And I like what you're telling and reinforce that we Jamaicans must understand opinion is not fact. Right. And we can agree and disagree. It's whether the opinion is backed up with logic and reasoning. That's how you do it. Now, I'm looking at the game. And I'm saying, but Jamaica is playing well. I'm thinking Jamaica is playing well here. This is Mexico. 68 minutes. We're doing well. Midfield is playing much better with Bobby Reed and Palmer. And I'm saying this is looking good. Now, here's my issue now with the change. I understand the change if that's the reason, because you never said it. So I agree with you. Let's go away with a point. This is a tournament. We get 1 point from Mexico with Venezuela beating Ecuador.
Right.
Let's take the point. It's a coach's change to say let's go with a 1 point for the next 20 minutes, right? 68, 60, so about 20 minutes to go, 22 minutes.
22 plus extra time, yeah.
Here's my issue now. The change of bringing in Damian Lowe is a change that Dago would make. Because if you're locking shop, the best man to bring in is Damian Lowe, and then you take out Gray.
Right.
There can be if the argument is to lock shop and take the point, there's nothing wrong with that change. Here's my issue with that change now. I would love to ask the coach now. You have your starting center half playing well. Why would you bring Hector for Bernard? If you know you were going to take out your starting center half, Why would you even start him then? That's what I don't understand. Maybe you can help me now. The Hector for Bernard.
I have no idea. I'm confused too.
Thank you, G. Thank you.
Especially when Hector's going to play the right of Lati, and you need
Thank
more
you.
speed out there versus someone who's just going to be composed on the ball. I didn't understand it.
That is the $1 million question I would have for the coach. Coach, I understand your philosophy. You're in Copa America. This is Jamaica. You're going away with a point here. A point is a great point here going forward.
Right.
So I understand Damian Lowe. Damian Lowe is the perfect man to come in, and Gray is the perfect man to come out. My question is, why Hector for Bernard? Your starting center half is not injured. He's not a yellow card. He's playing well. That is the one I need to be answered, Kranky.
Right. Yep. Because then he made a subsequent change of bringing in 2 forwards and trying to get that goal that we gave up.
Fine.
And I thought,
you know, with forwards, you can take out forwards anytime, rest them, and you bring in some fresh forwards. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but you know what happened? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
At halftime and subsequent to halftime, on my watch along, a lot of people in the chat were saying Boza and Gray should be the change. They were saying it right after at halftime and subsequent to halftime throughout the entire period. They're saying those are the 2 changes. Now, Boza played the entire game.
No, hold on. Okay, you know, with me, you know, we have to. So they say Bowser and Gray is the change. Just like what he's asking the person.
Yes.
If not Bobby Reed, who? So take out Bowser and Gray and bring in who then? What was the argument?
Bring in Dixon and Cephas.
No, but the coach is playing to secure a point.
No. What they're saying is this: is that you can secure a point in 2 ways. You know, you can go more defensive, or you can create offense, which then means the opposition has to play more defense. It's not
okay.
One dimension. They're thinking, well, defense. I put more. No, you can say, you know what? I put 2 quick wingers. Your players are tired. Cephas is lightning. Dixon is skillful and have speed. You got to play safer. You can't just come willing at me and throw 9 people forward. You have to keep back 4 defenders to manage against those 3 forwards that I now have. I have a better chance to alleviate the pressure I'm going to feel from you. If I put on Damien and Hector, all I'm doing is creating more pressure on myself. Because then I have no forward except Anthony. Think about it. Anthony is the only forward I now have. And he's been up there by himself all game.
So you agree with the callers, the watch along that said they should have taken out Bowser and Gray.
Yes, I was one of those people saying it too, by the way.
Oh, Bowser and Gray. Okay, I can't argue against that.
Bowser and Gray because I think Bowser was having the greatest game. And Gray was not in the game. Gray was not in the game. Okay. So you bring in an halftime parameter. I was just talking about the coach, the decision in the 69th minute now. So I see what you're saying. Here's the thing, Diego. When Cephas played against US and Diego, Cephas will score and win the game now. Because
no, you have changed. No, I agree with you. If you guys are talking about the halftime change, I was just talking about the change which everybody is discussing the whole world now. The 69 change.
Yes, 68.
So I can't. Yeah. I see your point. I see the point there. So he blundered there then even at halftime then.
Yeah, but I think some coaches are like Arsene Wenger. They make changes in the 60-something minute. They don't make changes at halftime. Unless it's an injury. That's how some coaches are. He may be one of those coaches. Not saying he is. He may be one of them. I haven't seen him make a ton of halftime changes, except he changed Lowe the other day, but Lowe said he had a niggle. I've seen this why he came out. But no one agreed with the changes. I'm telling you, no one agreed with the changes they made. No one I know.
No, but what I'm saying now, I didn't have a problem at halftime like you guys did. Because the team was playing so well. I was so impressed with the team. I would have bring back the same team second half, and then after the 15 minutes, the normal procedure where when a team is playing well half time, they get the rest, come back again, guys. So I was more talking about the 69-minute change.
Okay.
The 69-minute change where I understand the Damian Lowe for Gray. That makes total football sense.
Right.
It's just the Hector for Bernard. I still can't wrap my hands. I'm hoping you as the genius, Kranky, can help your listeners here.
Yeah, so 1 second, Digger. So Claudine, Cephas gave the goal to Nicholson against where they run fast and whatever you want to call him. He did give a goal to Nicholson on a breakaway against Dominican Republic. He got a chance against US because the defender was running backwards and he was running forward. When he had one-on-one with Turner, he should have scored a goal, but at least he had a chance. We got no chance like that in this game. People can understand this. If you don't get no chance, you can't score. Go ahead, Diego.
Yeah, man.
If you don't get a chance, you score a goal. At least see if us give you a chance to score. There are some people that not getting a chance to score. But they make bad decisions or not, we don't disagree with that. But they give a chance to score. We got no chances in that game. Let me know the chance we got in the game against Mexico. We had 2 shots. One by Lambakisi, a good shot to keep us safe, and yet another shot that he took. Palmer took a shot. But where did we create a chance in the game to score? Yes, we had the head of Antonio, but that wasn't a play where we build the play up and try to score. We don't do that on this coach. We don't build up plays and score. We get some long kick and long cross and everything there. We don't do any build up play to score. Mexico goal was a build up play. Good shot, but it was a build up play. But so that's Diego. Diego, we have to improve on that. Diego.
Oh, yeah. But as I said before, I was so impressed with the first half with the midfield, with Casey Palmer and Bobby Reed doing connecting there, and the 2 wing backs coming up with the 3 centre halves there, Latibo there, Pinnock and Bernard. And as you said now, Antonio was playing well. Bowser doing him thing, you know. So I had no problem making a second half change right away. I was just watching it by myself at home.
Okay.
But when this thing changed though, I'm saying, okay, Damian Lowe coming in, he's going for the point. And I'm saying, okay, Browse think that Gray must come out there, but I'm still flabbergasted the Hector for the. So maybe one of your genius listeners can tell us if they understand that change. If they can give us a football reason for that change.
Well, most people, not everyone, most people didn't agree with the change. At least the ones I've interacted with, they didn't agree with the change. They just thought the change was not the right change.
No, but
either of the changes.
Oh, so they had a problem with Damian Lowe coming in. I don't have a problem with Damian Lowe coming in for Gray.
No, I know you don't, but some people did.
What about you, Kranky?
I didn't think he should have come in the game. He's not a midfielder.
You don't think Damian Lowe should have come in the game?
No.
If you're playing for the point?
Look, Bobby Reed and Palmer have closed down the middle really well. Mexico don't always penetrate us. That's what they do. We don't have enough place to stop them. But I didn't think Palmer and Reed. Look, I think if you change, here's my view on this. You can't always make change that are just so obvious to protect a lead. You can make change where you can hurt the opposition. Those changes just created total pressure, no relief.
Well, I think that part you're talking about, no, because it looks like there was some confusion now when with Hector coming in and because I saw Damian Lowe talking. I forget who was talking to. So it looked like the change created some confusion also.
It did. That was obvious.
Yes, the change too.
Because Hector either play a back two or he play the middle of the back three. No, Hector not gonna play the right of the back three. That's not Hector. Hector not no speed. Hector can't recover. Hector is very composed on the ball, read the game, cut off, but he can't play the right of the back three. Pinnock has played it for his team. I don't think Pinnock is the best of left of the back three either, but he plays it for Brentford sometimes. That's not what Hector does. Hector is going to be the last man.
So Kranky, so what you're saying is you just still go for the point and you just leave. You want to bring in Damian Lowe and bring in the 2 forwards and take out Damian Bowser.
I would have taken out Bowser and Gray and put in Dixon and putting Cephas. That's what I would have done.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So even after the 69 minutes, you're still going for the 1. You're still going for the 3 points.
Here's my view on this. We play kick and edge the ball. Me kick the ball along to Cephas, the Mexican they can't catch him. Me kick the ball along to Dixon, they must struggle. If the Mexican decides, you know what, we're going to just score and we're not going to defend, we're going to just play you straight up. At some point, we're going to win the ball because we always win the ball and we can make an outlet. We had no outlet, 0 outlet. The outlet is Antonio, can't do it by himself. So all you're doing is have 11 defenders behind the ball, or 10 because Antonio may be up. And when you get the ball and kick the Antonio, what happened? We come right back to us. You play box and forward then. Without any outlets, you play box and forward.
I'm not saying with the coach not telling us, I have no problem with him trying to let's take a point out of this first game. But I see your point also. It's just the Hector coming in for Bernard. If you're going to take out your starting centre half, why did you start him in the first place?
Well, here's the thing. I have no idea why you change him.
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. So what would be your starting 11 for Ecuador now?
No, we're not talking about starting 11 tonight. You have to come back tomorrow for Sergeant 11.
Oh, tomorrow. All right, all right. So
That's a teaser for tomorrow. That's a teaser for tomorrow.
okay. So hold on.
And by the way, if me I check if you subscribe or not to that, me I check.
No man. I take you. Right away. Before my call again, I'll take you. Before my call tomorrow. So what time is the show tomorrow? Come on, you know on the thing.
See, you're not been around. I do 6 to 8 Monday to Thursday.
6 to 8 Monday to Thursday. You know who link me up? I remember knows and thing of the great Pine Action one. Yeah, big up for you. What are your biggest fan, Pine Action.
Okay.
Yeah, man. 6 to 8 Monday to Thursday.
Yeah, man.
All right, genius. Go on to the work. So hopefully we can get that question answered by the coach, Hector for Bernard.
I thought we'll never get it. All right, Nico,
all right, cool. Yeah.
All right, people. That was Diego, who is well known in this region, with a sponsor, manager team, or owner team, you want to call it. People live and breathe football 24/7. All right, people. I'm 51 minutes past my time. Only have 115 likes. I mean, there's more about 200 people come through the space, but I appreciate you being here. Claudine, stop beat me, Claudine. Even me give Antonio credit, just still not giving no credit for credit. Antonio saying he can't play well. Just because I say I replace Antonio maybe with Dixon or with somebody else, and the man not scoring about 7 games. He not scoring at 7 games. And Claudine, you can't make it up. He not scoring at 7 games. You say him give assist, you give out an excuse for him. Him still not score. In goal ratio is 1 every 374 minutes. Boza is 1 every 64. And better Claudine, I was saying, but in though Boza has a twice that's better goal ratio. I'm more than twice in the Claudine. I'm more than twice. Almost twice. I can know I'm more than twice. 2 times 162 about 24. I'm more than twice. Antonio 1 for 374. Boza 1 in 62. So in goal ratio twice, Antonio. Me still say Boza should have been taken off the other day. And Antonio should have stayed on because he played well. And still beat me, Claudine. Can't win. People, remember post Claudine thing. Claudine say, hey, Kranky, you've been in your channel. Hey, Claudine, me have a life. Claudine, me retire from regular work in Claudine. Me have enjoyed my retirement. Me can't spend me 24/7. Me spend enough time on YouTube already. Granted, I don't watch regular TV. I don't watch movies. Sports is what I do. But Claudine, me have people around me who want to see me. Me have things in my life to do other than just stay at 24/7. Claudine, you're not giving me no subscription. You have to watch me stay upon your long. You don't encourage me, Claudine. You discourage me like nothing I do. Because no one subscribe and no one hit the like button. You discourage me, Claudine. 7 days a week, 6 days a week. Nah, sir. Me stop doing them things. Me do them things that me used to work in a corporate environment. Me stop do that. Me I take it easy. 4 days is like Claudine. Me telling some people. All I know. This YouTube thing, yeah. You see people that do, and they might do it enough. It take enough work. And I really pay no money, portion of money. And now follow Mr. Beast and then people make much millions. And our what name? You do the technology from Apple product them. Name a slip me now. And follow them people there. They might aberration. It's like when I say we have follow football and say, boy, or De Bruyne make this about the money. You know, the millions of football don't make no money. I saw it stay in a YouTube space, so can't do this 24/7. But like they are engaged with you. It's a family thing. I try build. But me, Claudine, me can't do 6-7 days a week. No, sir. In fact, this week I think I did 6 days. Because I did Friday and I did Sunday. And I did Saturday. Yeah, I think I did 6 days a week. Tuesday, I take off. No, Claudine, too much work. But anyway, people, it's Brazil game almost start. I'm going to do the Brazil watch along. I'll take a break and sit down and watch it in comfort. So I'm going to get no beaten, but my ideas and perspective them. I appreciate you being here. I love the dialogue and conversation. Claudine, stop beat me and subscribe. And Claudine, not only if you subscribe, you bring people to come subscribe with you. See? All on TikTok. Jason, you know, I want to start calling him in the academy. Somebody else may not call him because somebody just accused me of just putting up Arsenal personnel comments, which I totally disagree with. If I did, it wasn't intentional. All right? So people, thank you for being here. Must send out me look a wouldn't call it rap thing, look a talk thing. Tomorrow, same time, same place. And by the way, people, I supposed to have an interview today. Person will call me. I may call them twice and they'll call me back. So I thought it was gonna be. Look at it. We do a safe thing, We put up a thumbnail for that person there, and then we put up a thumbnail saying just case him call me, call me back. So we'll see if he can come back tomorrow. But anyway, people, thank you. Have a good evening. Bless up and peace out. Kranky Live is the place to be now for the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Kranky Live will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky Live, tell them. Kranky Live, heed them. Kranky Live, want them. Kranky Live. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky Live, tell them. Kranky Live, heed them. Kranky Live, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky Live, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky Live, give me my Kranky Live. I want my Kranky Live. Must have my Kranky Live. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky Live. Tell them, Kranky Live. Heed them, Kranky Live. Want them, Kranky Live. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky Live. Me say fi heed them Kranky Live. On them Kranky Live. Kranky Live will be around. Kranky Live is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Heed them, want them, heed them. Want them, Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Kranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed, want, heed them.